Good luck. Oh, okay.
I will do
well,
my
let me
best
go
to
ahead
make
and
sure that
erase
nothing that ends up on the stream is on the stream. So that made no sense, but you know what I mean. Hey, everybody. Just want to let you know real quick that if you're here just in time to watch us create a character. This is going to be an utter shit show. And everybody else can hear me right now.
I hear you.
Nothing. I screwed up. But it is going to be an utter shit show. I meant to mute myself and deafen you guys at the same time, and I screwed up. I apologize. Go ahead. Okay, now they can't hear me. They can't hear him either. But yeah, we're rolling characters. We're going to have a lot of fun, and now back to them.
Yeah. Jeez. She's gonna dungeon master it to you. Nice. Just like that, you're that breakdancer dude, the dude that Oh, okay. Yeah, you're like that dude that decided to just leave his family and just start breakdancing at the age of like 54. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's real.
No, it's real as hell. And like no, his daughter's now like mad at him and trying to gain attention based off of him being, honest about it. Bard, go Bard. The Bard monk.
Welcome to a day that ends in Y.
Extinction. It's a dice roller, huh?
It's a bot.
Discord sucks. Was it exclamation roll or something like that?
Usually slash or something. Yeah.
Good old dump stat. Wisdom. This guy Gog. All right, Gog. No problem, man.
Sure. From my level 6 sheet, but translate it to the right numbers for level 1. Can you help me do that? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
so you're going to be more powerful with my stats. I
Okay.
set the stats up to be basically so you guys have the opportunity to be like heroes of the realm. If you want to keep the same line, your strongest stat is charisma, so you'll keep that as 18.
Yeah.
Your next highest stat is either dexterity or intelligence, so it's up to you on which one gets 16 and which one gets 13.
I'll do intelligence 16 and dexterity 13.
Okay.
That was it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then your next one would be a 12 in your constitution.
Okay.
And then your next one would be a 10 in strength, and an 8 for your wisdom would be your last one.
Got it.
And again, if you later decide, actually, I want to switch things around, that's just going off of your sheet.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And then it was
I
Phelan?
asked for help.
Okay. All right. You are a
Druid.
druid. Okay. So druids are unique. There are three different ways to really play a druid. You can play a druid, and again, these are just archetypes. You can play them however you want, but generally speaking, there are three different ways. You're going to be level 4. You can start turning into creatures. Maybe 5. Sorry, I think it's 4. Wild shaping into different creatures, bear, wolf, stuff like that. So there are those. That's one way to really play as them. You could be a primary caster, so you're really just casting spells and being able to have cool divine spells. Or you could just be a beefy frontliner, use your sickle and shield or whatever. Do you have an idea of what you're really looking for? And obviously there's a mixture of that. You're not going to ignore one side of that if you want to focus on another.
I think I'm kind of someone like a mid support character.
Okay. Yeah, so my emphasis would be then on wisdom, because wisdom is going to be your primary skill for how powerful your spells that you can cast. And a lot of your spells, druids and clerics, have some of the best buffing or kind of support spells in the game. A lot of very nature themed ones, which is really fun.
Okay. So how much would I dump into it?
So that'd be 18.
Oh,
Is
18,
your
okay.
highest stat.
Okay.
And then the next highest stat is 16, and this is where it gets really up to you. When I played as a druid, I put a lot of emphasis into my Constitution next because they needed a frontliner. But that was just me. One of the unique things about if you're a wild shape, if you use your wild shape a lot, is when you, let's say you turn into a bear, you're going to keep your mental stats, so your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. You'll retain that, but you're going to take on, while you're wild shaping, you'll take on the bear or the wolf or the falcon's strength, dexterity, and constitution. So if you become a bear, you're going to beef up and have more tankiness, I guess. Where if you become a falcon, you're going to get a lot more dexterity. So it's still up to you whether you want to have those be higher or not. Yeah, druid's one of the hard ones because you could use all of these so much.
Yeah, that's part of their versatility that I was talking about. And on top of all the relatively unique spell lists that you get, you can also oh, maybe I'll be a scout and I'll be a wizard crawling on one of the walls that nobody will notice or something like that. And then the next time I wild shape, like you said, you'll turn into a bear and beat the hell out of dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so it's up to you. Do you on how you want to play that out? Also, I don't know if you guys have a face or if you're planning on having a face, somebody who's really good at talking to people. I think just naturally
That won't be me.
Yeah, I was gonna say naturally it seems like it's gonna be Morgana, because that being a sorcerer, having 18 charisma, you're gonna have a lot of
that's fine.
bonuses talking to people. But
Yeah, that's what he said.
so I dumped my charisma stat when I was a druid. I didn't ever want to talk to people. I thought of it as I'm this aloof nature boy. Plus I was a lizard folk, so it's people don't really like me anyway. So I was half orc.
I don't have any problem with people with scales and tails. I'm just saying.
That's not what you said the other day.
Shut up.
So if I'm not focusing on charisma, what should I put it?
So the dump stat for that would be an 8.
Okay.
So that's your weakest, and then you put an 18 for your strongest. So now we're into those middle ones. So the next strongest one, would you want that to be Intelligence, dexterity, constitution, strength.
So I'm planning on carrying a staff, like a quarterstaff, on me with a sling.
Okay.
So I don't know, like,
Um,
where should I invest those points?
if you are planning on using those as your primary weapons, like I said, druids are going to have a lot of spells. So a lot of the
Mhm.
times, the barbarian is going to be he's going to be casting sword every time he gets an opportunity, or axe, or whatever it is. Most of the time, if you're really focusing on casting, you're not going to really use your weapons as much.
Kind of like
So
back up.
yeah, so if that's the case, then I would emphasize dexterity, because it's going to give you a
Okay.
higher armor class, and when you do use your string or your sling, you're going to be more accurate with it. So if you and also ranged touch attacks, if you're using a spell that uses that phrase, ignore what it means, we'll learn it later. You're more likely to actually hit.
Okay. All right. So I can put 16 to dexterity. Or
That's what it sounds
okay.
like. It'll also make you go earlier in combat, more likely to go
Okay.
early in combat.
Okay. And what about constitution and intelligence?
So Constitution is going to dictate how much health you have,
Okay.
and how well you drink poison or drink alcohol and resist the effects.
Okay.
That's kind of the two main things that Constitution do for you.
Okay.
Intelligence is going to dictate how many languages you know, how many
Okay.
skill points you get, so how good you are at a variety of different things, those types of things. For
Okay.
everything I've said so far, I'm sorry, I'm just speaking mechanically.
Okay.
You can also think narratively, like my guy is dopey and walking, or like whatever you want to imagine that looks like.
And the skills that Devin's talking about there are things that are not directly combat related, almost in any case,
Okay.
right? So like,
Yeah.
maybe you know a lot of knowledge about history. Maybe you grew up with a cobbler dad and he taught you a little bit about how to make shoes, or you grew up out on the ocean and you're a good sailor or something like that. Or there's a whole
Okay.
list of
Or
skills
how
somewhere
well
on
you
there.
hide, how well
Yeah.
you can climb or swim in
Yep.
dangerous circumstances, or balancing. Yeah, a variety of different things, which we'll get
And
to.
All right.
strangely, if you have a higher intelligence, you have more of those points available to use on those different skills. But some of the skills are untrained. You don't have to be trained to use them, but it can still help if you do train how to use them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost where we're at.
Constitution
think,
and intelligence.
Yeah, constitution intelligence.
Okay, so you want to be a beefy, strong girl, or the book smart, knowledge heavy woman?
I think given her, I mean, she knows a lot about the forest and shit, so it's and animals and plants.
There you go.
Perfect. So that one will be your 16 then. No, 16 was dexterity, sorry. So that would be
Yeah,
13.
13.
13.
And then 12 and 10 for your last two. So I think that
Okay.
was 12 for intelligence, 10 for strength.
All right, gotcha. All right. There we go. Thanks.
All right. Anyone else need help with that?
I do have kind of a silly question. I don't know if it's that important on here, but at the very top, it's asking for size and then height and weight.
Sure.
Like-
So height and weight are purely cosmetic. Don't worry about height and weight as a mechanic, but feel free to make yourself. You can't be more than 10 feet tall. Sorry. That's a mechanical thing that
Darn.
makes you a large character.
14
But you could
foot
be a big
medium
old
character.
chubby barbarian, or you could be like a lean green fighting machine.
So
Totally up to you.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
You can either be Andre the Giant or you can be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Nah, so
Nothing-
Danny
Nothing
DeVito.
that crazy.
Same with gender. Gender has no mechanical advantage, and unless you're
Uh-oh,
going
we're
to like the
canceled.
very old age, then age will also not have a mechanical advantage if you're 18 versus if you're 30. There's no mechanical difference.
Right. Okay, no, it's
But
just it's
size is going to be determined by what race you choose. So every race is either going to be medium or small. The only ones that would be small would be a gnome or a halfling, if you choose one of those. Unless somebody chose one of the more obscure lists that I picked.
But are
or
goblins
sent out for
also
you guys.
considered
would
medium?
also be. No, they'd be small.
Okay,
Sorry.
good.
Yeah.
I
Are
don't
you
know
going
why.
goblin?
Unless you're,
Hell no, I'm
Who's
going
the
human.
goblin?
Oh, I was gonna
yeah.
say.
I'm a
And those
normal
do have
dude.
mechanical advantages, advantages and disadvantages. So small sized characters are better at hitting things. They're more accurate. They're harder to hit with their armor class, but they don't carry as much. Their weapons don't do as much damage. So there's like some pros and cons to all of that.
right. Got it. Okay, yeah, that helps.
There's
And for level, I take it we were all just putting 1.
Just putting one.
Okay. Current XP would just be 0.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And you level up at 1,000. So
Yeah.
So-
X.
Good.
Got it.
Go
Okay,
ahead,
yeah.
Devin.
It just auto populated with all that in there.
perfect. Yes. Okay. Now I do have a question about something I'll address with somebody individually. But the abilities, did everyone get all the abilities? Or does anyone still need help with those at all?
You mean like the skills?
Oh, the ability scores.
Your strength, dexterity,
Oh,
constitution.
ability
did
scores. Yeah,
everyone
we're
get
good.
those? Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we finally get to roll dice. So depending on your character, their class, everyone's going to be able to roll dice for their health. Now, my rule with dice. I lied. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
Everyone gets full HP for the first level.
Yeah.
Normally you would roll, but my rule for health is if you roll a 1, then you get to re-roll. You're never going to be gaining 1 HP for your level. But how health is going to work is, let's see. So druid, theirs is a D8. So you would get 8 hit points plus whatever your modifier is, next to your Constitution score. For barbarian, it's 12 hit points plus whatever your Constitution. So it's based off of what the class, they call it a hit die, and it'll say that if you look up your class 3.5, it'll be listed there.
7. I would tell GOG where to find the modifier and all that.
Great response. Let me share the screen.
So hang on, you said it was the you said it was 12 plus the Constitution for the HP.
Yeah.
The
With
modifier.
Oh,
Yeah.
modifier.
Yep, that number next to so you have a 16 Constitution. The number next to that will be a 3. That's your modifier.
Oh, got it. So 12, 15 HP then.
Yes.
And then he also mentioned your hit die. It's probably a good idea to put that on the one to the right where it says hit dice. So in the case of the barbarian, you put like 1d12 or something like that.
It's under eyes.
Yeah, near the top.
And if you're seeing my screen at all, you can see like I have the druid class pulled up, and it shows the second thing on the sheet is your hit dice right there. So every class is got to be different. So wizards, sorcerers get 1d4, so they're generally a very weak class in terms of health. Barbarians get 12, fighters and clerics get, just fighters get 10.
Hey, Warlord, thanks
So
for
just
coming
depending
in.
on what class you're in, you're going to get more health or less.
All right. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the starting hit points are max dice plus Constitution modifier.
Correct. Yep.
Gotcha. Cool.
Great. Where do I find that again?
Well, you're-
Which class are you?
Dice. Rogue.
Oh, six. I think
Okay,
it's
rogue.
D6. I think.
I believe you're correct. Yes. So if you type in Rogue 3.5, it'll be the second thing there. It'll show your alignment and then hit dice. 1d6.
Still got the handbook pulled up.
And that goes into HP, right?
Yep, there it is.
Correct.
Okay.
Your total your total HP. Now that total HP is only going to change when you level up and you gain more HP. If you're not, you don't want to touch that any other time because then you'll forget how much health you have total. Your current HP is like if I say, hey, you just took 6 damage, that's where your current HP is going to drop down. So try not to adjust your total HP unless you're adding to it because you just leveled up. All right. Everyone got their HP figured out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. 1, 2, 3.
I have another silly question, if I may.
Not silly. Let's go.
So on the top here, your deity, does that have? Because we talked before about like no just blatantly evil character playthroughs. Like we went over all that. But does your deity choice have any effect on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on, so you can only be 1 step away from your deity on the axis. So if they're a chaotic evil, then you can't be a lawful evil character worshiping them, and you can't be a chaotic good character worshiping them. So, but you can be neutral evil, or you could be neutral, chaotic neutral. So you just have to be within 1 step of them, or you could be true neutral.
Okay. It's because I have chaotic neutral right now.
So yeah, you'd have to either be neutral or chaotic, and then you could be any of the good versus evil. I guess you could be neutral or good because Darylyn doesn't want evil campaign. So yeah, you could be neutral or good, and you could be neutral or chaotic.
Then you know what?
Darylyn,
for now,
wait, Darylyn, did you send him the list of deities that you sent me?
I don't remember. Did I send it straight to you or did I send it to everybody?
No, you sent it straight to me.
Well, then, can you mind sending it to him?
Yeah, let me.
That's
You don't have to-
super flexible as well.
Me,
so your characters can start to worship one, and as you experience other deities, you can either retcon it and be like, actually, I don't like this deity, I want to go somewhere else, or you can have a conversion moment where you're like, my deity isn't doing it for me, I want to start worshiping this other one. And that can bring out interesting plot points too, like clerics from your old deity coming and being like, hey dude, what's up with you switching sides?
How could you do that to us?
They start clinking bottles together.
The people that it's going to affect the most are people that whoever they're worshiping is actually can have an effect on their game mechanics to some degree, right? Like if I was a cleric and I decided to switch to a different god or goddess, that's going to be an issue. But like if I'm a barbarian, like it's not really going to affect your game mechanics. It might affect like the story that happens, just like Devin saying, like you maybe somebody from your old church will come looking for you going like, hey, what are you doing? Or whatever. Or maybe they'll be pissed. Maybe they'll send people after you to kill you. Who knows?
Where should I drop this PDF of the faiths for Forgotten Realms?
You could do
is
the
it
basics.
Faiths and Pantheons? What is it?
Wait, hold on. Let me. Okay, guys, in the server, where do I put this PDF that's about the Forgotten
The
Realms?
basics.
Yeah.
Go to the rules discussion, the basics. That would probably be the best.
What? Where is that?
On the left.
Oh, down there. Never mind. Just kidding. Saw it. Sorry.
kidding.
I was like, where the hell is that? I only
I'm
saw the ones
lying.
on the top. Okay, here we go. So this is like about this is all the Forgotten Realms deities and faiths and stuff. It's uploading.
You don't have to figure that out right now either, Gog.
No.
That's like an entire book I think she might be sending you.
I know. I'm coming
do
to
that
learn
later.
that. I'm coming to learn that about D&D. I'm gonna send you
do that
PDF.
later.
I'm gonna send you PDF on barbarians real quick.
Yeah, 6,000 pages later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and you haven't even seen the spell compendium.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Thankfully, he's a barbarian. He doesn't have to.
Exactly.
Yes,
Ain't
thankfully.
that something?
There's a reason I'm a
Smart
rogue.
choice. Okay. The next one, this is going to be one of the more complex. This is going to be your class features. So this will be another one where you either want to go to the your class 3.5 on a Google search, or go to the drive, and if you look up your class, it's going to tell you different. So essentially, your class is going to have features. That's a bad class to pick. Let's say Druid. Druid's a good class because it's got a bunch of different features. So I'm going to share this, share the screen again so you guys can see. So it's going to have this chart, this big chart, and it's going to look overwhelming, but I promise it makes sense once you look at it. With D&D, everything that you need to know is per level. So you can just kind of ignore everything that looks too complex and just look. You guys are first level, so you're just looking at the very first line out of this 20 levels. You're looking at the very first line. So with the Druid, your class features are that you get a +0 to your base attack bonus. So what that means is right here on these lines, I would just put 0. If you're a fighter or a barbarian, you're going to get 1 every level. And everyone kind of progresses at different rates. This is basically how well you are affiliated with weaponry. So obviously a druid isn't as affiliated, isn't as reliant on weapons as a barbarian or a fighter. So they're not going to learn and progress in how well they hit compared to like a barbarian or a fighter. So everyone's going to want to do that. So base attack bonus, whatever that says, it's going to be added here. And slow me down if I'm going too fast. The next thing to look at here is going to be your fortitude save, your reflex save, and your will save.
Where is this? Did you send this link to everybody yet, Devin?
This isn't a link per se. Just go to Google and look up for you Barbarian 3.5, or it'll be in the Google Drive. If you've sent me your email, I've given you access to my Google Drive, and you can go to the player's handbook and you'll find your class there. But I just find, honestly, 90% of the time, I just look up, whatever I'm trying to figure out about 3.5 and then add 3.5 and it'll pop up. So Druid 3.5, here's the thing. I pull it up.
3.5 is important because
Correct, because it'll bring up 5e every single time if you don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as far as these class features under the special, is there a specific place we should be recording that? Because I'm unfamiliar with this character sheet.
Great question. So this character sheet that we have here, hopefully you can see it on my screen. The base attack bonus, you're going to put under your strength, dexterity, all those abilities. There's got to be a little part that says action points. We'll never use that. I don't even know what action points are. I think
that's yeah, it's one of those what the hell's that book called? Unearthed Arcana?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never used action points in any of my games. I would, if you guys wanted to try it out, we could, but I've never done that.
Oh God, don't! I would not further complicate things for everybody.
Just under action points is going to be, it's going to have a total for fortitude, reflex, and will. Ignore that total part, and right next to it is base. That's where you're putting this. So, sorry. For base attack bonus, just below those 3 is melee, grapple, and ranged. When you put 1 in the base attack bonus, it should put it. For some reason, you have to do it for both grapple and melee or ranged, but it'll plot that all out. Did that make sense? That didn't make sense.
I'm confused. What?
Mine.
Okay, so the first key is to figure out for your class, what is the base attack bonus? What does it say in your base attack bonus for level 1?
Okay.
Has everyone found that?
Yes.
Shit. Where the right? I lost the screen. There it
Mine
is.
auto-populated.
I found the screen. Base attack bonus.
Probably 0.
I think it's 0. Yes, yes, it is in fact 0.
Okay, so yeah, so now that everyone knows their number, it's either going to be 0 or 1. Not many options for level 1. You'll go back to your character sheet and go down to where you see in the black melee, grapple, and ranged.
Uh-huh.
You're going to go 2 boxes over to the right. So the first box is going to say total attack bonus. The second box is going to say base attack bonus. You'll put a 1 or a 0, depending on your number, in base attack bonus. You're going to have to do it both for melee and grapple. You put whatever your number is in there, and then that's it. So that's your base attack bonus. So for zeros, your guys' job is super easy.
I don't do anything. Yes, I got that.
Perfect. Okay, everyone got base attack bonus.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's playing a small size character either, so the size mod should be irrelevant for us, I think, as well.
Correct.
Are dwarves medium?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, kind
Silly little
of
bastards.
different than all the. Yeah, they're only supposed to be like 5 foot, so they're very short. But they're not like gnomes are like 2 feet tall.
Yep.
And halflings are like 3.5 or something. So.
Remember that cute picture of Grack and Grog, Scarlet? Or Rose, whatever your name is?
Yeah.
Hey, Shadow Warden, how you doing?
I was gonna say it's the difference between like a Hobbit, Gimli, and like Aragorn.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Okay, everyone's got that? Perfect.
Yeah.
Next one is the fortitude, reflex, and will. So let me explain this first. So these are so periodically throughout the game, things will happen, and I will ask you to roll a save. And what that means is you're doing something in response to not an attack, like I'm not hitting you with a sword, but generally
Yep, we're setting up a tabletop
some
game.
other
Right now we're
component
going
that's a
over
threat.
character creation.
So for fortitude save,
we're doing a
that's
D&D 3.5.
you're basically that's your constitution, your body's ability to resist something that's disgusting. So whether that's being hit with a spell that sickens you, or maybe seeing like a mutilated body, or actually that might be a will save, or maybe like a super disease-ridden body,
Getting
like
drunk.
having to roll to
Drunk.
getting drunk, drinking poison, any of those kind of things. I'll say roll a constitution save, or rather a fortitude save. So that's what that is. Reflex save is dodging traps, dodging a fireball, different things like that, where it's not your armor protecting you, it's your actual reflexes that are protecting you. And then will save is resisting generally magical or morally difficult situations. So that would be like seeing like a body, a carcass, or something like that, and being able to like deal with that.
Overcome
and
that
not be shaken.
PTSD.
Exactly. Or, somebody's trying to charm you, or, put you to sleep with a magical effect that's resisting that to stay awake or uncharmed. So that's what those 3 are. Now, these are going to be vastly different depending on what your class is. But if you look there, it'll say for level 1, for a druid, it's 2 fortitude, nothing for reflex, and 2 for will. So you'll take those 3 stats, and they're always going to be in that order: fortitude, reflex, and will. So she's going to have 202. She'll go back to her character sheet, and just above where we put the base attack bonus, you'll add in where it says base. She would add in 202 to those 3.
So on mine, I already have some stuff like auto-populated in there, I think. I'm not sure if I'm
Correct.
supposed to.
Yeah, so
for level-
everyone's abilities are going to be, the modifiers for your abilities will be auto-populating. As you put them down, they'll auto-populate elsewhere. Yep.
But it doesn't add the modifiers.
I have a question.
So there's 2 different boxes. You're putting this new number in the second box,
Right.
base.
Yeah, okay. So for if I can go back and ask real quick, like right now for the fortitude reflex will, I got like 301. Like is that? Am I missing something there, or
Say that one more time.
Well, myself, I'm a rogue.
because it auto-populated
Connor is a ranger.
in the total
Phelan
boxes?
is a druid.
Gog
3, is a barbarian. Morgana
is that
a
correct for like a level
witch,
1
I think.
barbarian, or am I missing something?
And Morgan is a.
It's probably
Okay,
taking
so-
the numbers from the ability mod too.
Correct. So
Right.
in your
Okay.
base, you put in the right numbers, but on the left one total, it has different numbers in your base. That means that it's taking your ability modifier, it adds across the line for a
Okay.
total.
So what should the base be in then?
Let's see. So barbarian 3.5. Your base will be 200.
220. Okay, got it. Thank you for that.
Of course. All right. Everyone else got it, or need any help with that?
I get it.
I think I'm okay.
Okay. So the next one, and this is going to be the most complex part of this section, because everyone's is going to be different. But if you look at your character, your class sheet again, you'll see it'll have a special section. Is the next section. So everyone's going to have a different special section. So if you're a fighter, you get an extra feat. If you're a druid, you get an animal companion, nature sense, wild empathy. These are things you're going to be wanting to put on your character sheet and just generally know what they do, because these are essentially what makes your class different than somebody with the exact same stats or attributes, but a different class. Yeah, I guess it just depends. Some of you are not going to have very much. So barbarian, you get, I guess you get 3 for your first, but your big one's going to be rage. You're illiterate, so you can't read anything unless you put points into it, which kind of sucks, but whatever. And then you move fast, along with raging. So those are like your 3 things. Druids have nature sense, wild empathy, and animal companion. So for each one of your classes, you're just going to want to go through and add those in. For me, I don't know if you can see my character sheet, but at the bottom of the first page is 4 kind of blocks of text. I usually put class features as one of the blocks of the lines down there at the very bottom of the page 1. And then I'll do racial.
Are you talking about like other notes all the way down there?
Yeah, I was trying to find
No.
where you were.
Page 1 at the very bottom. It says
page
feats and
1.
special
Yeah,
abilities.
bottom of the
Yes.
page.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There we
gotcha.
And what
So
I
features
generally
would be
do,
like
and this is
rage.
totally up to you, I do I do class features as the first column. I do racial traits as the second column, and then generally, because you're going to gain more and more as you go on, I put the third and fourth column as feats, and I'll just generally explain what each one of those things do for myself, so that in the moment I know what the heck that is going on.
Can I ask a
What'd you
question?
say? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just gonna ask. I'm just trying to follow his formula here with the different columns. So what did you say that third one?
Yeah, so first column, class features, second
the-
column, racial traits, and third one, and usually fourth one, if we get that high level, is feats. Feats.
Got it. Okay.
And you'll see why you do gain a lot of feats as you go through the levels. So that's why I usually have 2 columns for that. So with class features, that's where I would put this stuff down. So some of it's pretty basic. So wild empathy, for example, that basically means you're so in tuned with nature that you can make a diplomacy check with an animal. So most of the time, if an animal looks like it's going to bite you, a normal person can't do anything. Like, you can run or you can fight. But a druid and a ranger have wild empathy, and so they're able to actually connect with this animal and attempt to persuade the animal that they're a friend or that they're not hostile or something like that.
It's
Then-
not an automatic thing
That's-
either.
Then can I ask
Yes.
this then? And now it's just more goes with Gog's backstory that I was kind of writing out for him. No. Okay. It's a decent question, I would think. Basically, I'm going with like he was like raised by like a ranger in the mountains and maybe picked up like a ranger's kind of deities and beliefs and stuff. So if he has like exposure to being raised by someone like that, would a half orc maybe be given in a circumstance the ability to maybe check on like an animal or be in tune with nature and all that shit?
more of a class thing,
Maybe, but
right?
it would be mechanically the answer is no.
Okay.
But
I was going to,
there's-
real quick suggestion. I was just going to say, in that very specific instance, you might want to think about taking a rank or 2 in the skill animal empathy. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, good point. So it's the
Or
skill
animal
is called
handling,
animal
maybe.
handling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So animal handling is like training, or it could be calming. But you can't do animal handling with a hostile animal. That's where wild empathy is specifically kind of like stands out as a class. So without wild
Got it.
empathy, that tiger is about to pounce on your face, you can be like, "Hey, I've got a lot of experience with animals. I'll do it." And that's not the same as like a druid
Animal
or a ranger's connection to the nature.
animal
Got
and
it.
Gog and Darylin. Animal empathy, like perfect example is when in Penny Dreadful, Ethan Chandler does the thing with the wolf at the zoo.
Right.
That's
Forgot
animal
all,
empathy.
forgot all about that shit.
But that you can't do because that's a druid thing.
Ranger.
Okay.
Druid.
But they're saying you could be like somebody who like knows how to train dogs and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Aim
You
wild
can't do the
animals.
Ethan Chandler thing with the wolf like he did, but you like that a druid can do, but you can do like stuff real people could learn how to do with an animal or animals.
The wild empathy, I think it's an extraordinary ability. Is that? Yeah, it's an extraordinary ability. So it's specifically tied to those classes. So yeah, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but it's something that is integral to those particular classes. Now, if you wanted to later on, you could take a level of ranger or take a level of druid,
Druid.
and maybe get access to that wild empathy. But as a barbarian, no. If you wanted to add a little bit of a role play element, you could say maybe you got a little bit of training and handle animal from the druid friend that you had, or
Got it.
ranger friend that you had.
Okay.
But worry about those things later.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if I can go back in this at some other point, then later, then I can always do that. I feel like
We'll get to that stuff anyway. I think probably soon. But
okay.
Okay, so does everyone have? So these are. It's okay to have lots of questions about these because every class is so different. So does anyone else have questions about their specific special class features?
I have a question
one more
about
thing
feats.
on yes. One more thing on the class features. The way I write it out, some of these are going to be a little easier to put. So like I said, wild empathy, I can just put wild empathy, can do diplomacy with animals. And then I will remember that whenever I glance back at my sheet to figure out what the heck my character is able to do. But for something like rage, there is a little bit more to that. You know, you gain strength and constitution, but you lose your armor class, and you can only do it set number of times per day. So there's more to think about with that. So with those types of class features, I might make more notes in my character sheet for it. So just something to think about.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pulling up some of the barbarian class features and all that right now on here, trying to.
I wouldn't
decipher
get
some of
lost in the deep descriptions of them right now because we're just trying to fill out the character sheets. You can definitely go over them more though when.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to look up, or just like barbarian specific like class traits and stuff that I can punch in here.
So your question with feats, we are going to come to that, and that is more complex. But is it something that needs to be answered now? Because I can't answer it.
No, it doesn't, I guess it doesn't. Oh,
No, he's
go
talking to
ahead.
me, dude.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
Shut up.
It's my
No,
turn.
I just asked because because we get at least one at level 1, right?
Yes, everyone will get 1 feat.
Okay.
Humans will get 2 feats, and fighters will get an extra feat as well. So if you're
Okay,
a
so
human
my-
fighter, you can start with 3.
Okay, so my question is because the one that I have at level 1 is Fey Heritage. It like it hold on, let me pull it up. It has a +3 bonus to will saves against enchantments. Do I have to factor that into my the thing we were just doing? Let me find it.
Will saves.
Yes.
It depends for you on how you're going to remember that best. So if it's easier for you to put it in that character sheet,
Yes, it is.
to put it in miscellaneous modifier, that's where it would go. But
Okay.
just know that that is only for enchantment. So if
Yeah.
you see something that's troubling, but it doesn't have anything to do with an enchantment, then it wouldn't
Yeah.
count towards
No,
your
I know.
will save. So as long whichever is easier for you, yes.
Okay. It wouldn't go under magic mod.
I think that's for like a buff,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay.
or
magic.
maybe a magic item.
Yeah,
even.
magic is a magic item.
Yeah.
Temporary is more of like a buff if somebody's giving you a spell buff. Miscellaneous
Okay.
is basically everything else.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to know.
It's a shame that it doesn't on the regular character sheet. There's a spot for special modifiers next to what is it? Saving throws. But yeah, if you just remember it, you'll be fine, I guess.
Yeah, I'll remember. I just wanted to make sure I don't need to put that on the sheet, which I put it under miscellaneous modifier.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So does everyone have the figured out at least the an idea of your class features? Again, that's something that I would definitely encourage you, in downtime outside of this. You can reach out if you have specific questions about how the class's features work. But read up on them, get an idea, because that's where your character is going to stand out amongst 5 other characters. That's where you really are highlighted. So make sure you really understand them.
Rose, something I was going to point out. I noticed if I typed in the miscellaneous modifier the number, there was a little bit of room for a word after that, and it doesn't seem to screw up the calculation. You might want to check it just to make 100% sure. But like if you put a 3 in mismod and then put enchant or something like that after it, it seems to work on the total.
Yeah, okay.
At least it did for me. And then that way you can remember exactly where it comes from. And for the folks who are a little bit more experienced, I would try to find ways to keep track of that stuff, because sometimes, in my experience, again, if I get a magic item and I forgot I even have the thing, and then I've got a modifier in my saving throws, for example, I'm like, where the hell did that come from? It might be a good idea to just have it written down somewhere, like, oh, I got a ring that gives me a bonus to saving throws, and that's why I have a modifier or something like that. If you have like a little note sheet, or if you could find a place to type it into the character sheet itself.
Hey.
Cool story, bro.
Noted.
We heard you.
Next.
Okay, so
Any other questions before we jump on to the next one?
yes.
Okay.
If I'm understanding how humans work correctly, because I'm reading here, it says 1 extra feat at first level. That means just 2?
Correct, unless you're a fighter where you get another one. So
Okay.
everyone gets 1. Fighters get an extra 1 at certain times, including level 1. Humans get an extra 1 at first level. So,
Cool.
but that leads me to the next point: is racial traits. So, so that'd be, if you're following my format, the second column there, you're going to look up again, human 3.5, half orc 3.5, whatever your, elf 3.5. You're just going to look that up, and it'll tell you what those bonuses are. So yeah, for human, everyone's land speed is going to be 30, except for the barbarian. The barbarians is going to be plus 10, so 40. Or if you're a small character, you're at 20.
So where would I punch that in? Just at the racial features?
So speed is going to be up just to the right of your abilities, up there. So you have your abilities here. Just to the right is this blank white spot for speed.
Here.
So that'll be 30.
Oh, I see. Okay. So 40 then.
Yeah.
What did you say it was for everybody else? 30?
Yeah, generally, if you're a medium creature, you're going to be 30. If you're a dwarf, goblin, halfling, those are going to be 20. And then, yeah, a little slower. You got little legs.
Dwarves are slower? I didn't know that. What the heck? Okay.
Think
Yeah,
about fucking Gimli trying to run after Legolas and Aragorn.
Hey, they're
And they're
very
trying to find them.
very dangerous over short distances.
Over short distances,
Yes.
yes.
Just like crocodiles.
Yes.
Forgot about that. I thought they were 30 like everybody else, but it makes sense.
The interesting thing about dwarves though is they can carry up to their max load, without slowing down. So everyone else, if you have 30 movement speed, but then you're carrying like a medium or a max load, then you can only go 20 or 15 feet.
Right.
Or if you're wearing heavy armor, dwarves are like, pack it all on me and I'm still gonna truck at the same speed. So
Right.
they're very consistent, very dangerous at short distances. Dang it, I stole that. Somebody just said that. I vaguely remember that.
Yep.
It's from Lord of the Rings.
It is.
Well, yeah, but somebody else beat me to it, and I
We
just
all
like
stole it.
mentally realized that I heard it just a moment ago.
Everything
Literally, just
on this
seconds
character
before.
sheet is literally stolen from Tolkien anyway. So like it's
I mean,
pretty much,
some
you know
degree.
what I mean? Like
To be fair, D&D started out as a what the hell was that chainmail game? Before it was even fantasy, it was just what the hell, miniature wars or whatever the heck.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, it was like battle minis.
Yeah. And the last side note about that, somebody was saying, I thought recently, somebody was telling me the Gygax, they were giving him a hard time in the beginning because he added a fantasy element and they didn't want that.
Yep. I have that art and artifacts book. It mentions that.
Hmm.
Wow, can you imagine being so wrong that you tell Gary Gygax this is
People don't want this.
And Gary's over there is like, shut up. I'm going to make money.
That's right. That's right.
Okay,
Make all
so
the
your
money.
racial traits. Does anyone have questions about the racial traits?
Let me send you this link
What
and you
races
tell
are
me
we?
if it's
I
accurate.
know there's human and half orc. I've heard those two.
ASMR.
Oh yes, I do
Half-elf.
have a question about that. So that was the thing I was going to ask about.
Okay.
So they are technically a level adjusted race.
I've,
There's
Oh,
also
I
I've
didn't know
seen
that.
it
called-
both ways. I've seen a lesser version that's not level adjusted.
Correct. Which one did you go? Did you go off of the lesser?
I believe I went off the
ASMR?
lesser. So I'm trying to
Okay.
figure out which information I'm pulling from because sometimes that seems like a little difficult to be getting the lesser one.
Yeah. Again, I just lesser ASMR 3.5. Well, actually, this one is taken. This one, okay, Thenato, that has the right.
on.
Thentao.com has the right thing. Yeah, so if you do
Then-
if you
okay.
do them, now one of the
Got that. Got that. Got that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's basically what I went off of. So.
sorry, just type something real quick.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
an
go for it.
ASMR.
It's a human who has some form of
Celestial.
celestial, not necessarily heritage, but one might say there's a blessing in their family somewhere that causes them to be just a little different.
Their great grandma banged a angel.
Basically, yeah.
Got it. So they're Nephilim.
Sort of ish, yeah, kind of.
Kinda. Okay, so now there's one thing that's going to be in here that's going to throw things off a little bit.
'Kay.
So each race, except for humans, each race will generally have a positive or a negative towards ability. So +2 to wisdom, -2 to constitution, or something like that.
Mhm.
So you'll actually, whatever your race you've selected, you'll actually take those and add those to your current setup. So if you have a +2 your strength, you already have an 18 strength. Well, now you're up to a 20 strength. You're
Right.
really damn strong.
There you go.
But I'm talking about a half orc for this time. You get a -2 to your intelligence and your charisma. So you're really, really strong, but you're like kind of dumb and not necessarily. Well, I
And
guess actually
unlikable.
that brings you to an average. You're pretty average in your intelligence, but you are really unlikable.
Right. Yes, and
It's-
that's all up in the strength, dexterity boxes and all up there,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I'm-
you're changing the actual score. So you're moving the score from 18 to 20. You're moving the intelligence down to 11, or I think it was, and then Constitution is dropping to 6. So
hang on, you lost me.
sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just in the middle of getting all the like racial features and class features and stuff all laid out on
Okay.
here, and getting down on some of these. But
Perfect.
you're
So
saying
finish that. For the lesser ASMR, if you do that, yeah, that's weird. It's a +2, which is kind of rare but awesome.
so
Yeah,
I-
I kind
go
of
ahead.
like it for being a rogue.
It's very nice, yeah. What were you saying, Gog?
No, hang on. So those extra like plus, plus 2, like minus 2s, whatever. Am I putting these in the features columns down here, or do I have to go back up and like manually change these again?
Good question. So it depends on which ones. So for some of these things, I would encourage you to put it in the racial features, because they just so that you remember where the heck that comes from. But for like the for the ability adjustments, you don't have to put it down there. I would just adjust the abilities up top. If they give you a +1 to your spot or whatever, then you would just go down to your skills, which we'll get to. That's the next point I think we're getting to.
Okay.
So yeah, skills are next. So yeah, so just depending on which one it is, some of them don't really fit in a specific thing, so you just want to list them out there as a class feature, or you can list them there like I get a +2 to this, -2 to this and this, and then also adjust it elsewhere on your sheet. Whatever, at the end of the day, whatever is going to help you remember the different components.
So like the strength, like if I put 18 in there, I would just change that to 20, for example. Okay,
Yes.
Perfect. This is easy.
You're gonna be a problem. You're gonna be a real problem.
It hit like a truck.
I'm about to be a problem too. I have a question, Devin. I might be jumping ahead a little bit, so no worries if I am, but let me know. But so when I was making this character, obviously I know there's stuff that has to be changed because it's like we were making level 6, but I had been suggested to use the magic blooded template. Have you seen that on the old sheet?
Magic blooded.
Oh.
I'm looking it up right now.
Can I still use that?
Where did that come from?
Pathfinder thing.
Oops.
I don't know it. Oh, it's from 3.0.
Oh, so I can't use it.
Well, I'm not familiar with it. That's all that means.
Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
Any special vision?
But he'll make that decision.
Somebody's finding that there might be a update for 3.5. I'm trying to find it.
Are you on Giant in the Playground?
Yeah, that's you're looking at the same spot.
Yeah. Giant in the Playground's amazing.
You guys, my Mac just wiped my entire sheet just now.
Why?
No.
I know. I'm fucking so mad.
Wait.
If you hit save in the upper corner, you should be okay.
No.
Ah, crap.
Did you save it all?
Hey, Jock, we're doing 3.5.
That's all right. We'll go through it again.
That's all right.
Why did that happen?
Well, I was clicking around on here back and forth between tabs with a character sheet, that we're building, and then my the half orc attributes and all that. So
everybody
I was
saved
punching all that in, and then yep, don't do
That's
what I
literally
did.
what I just did. I just
Oh,
hit
yeah, you're
save.
right, Shane. I am going to be a problem.
Periodically hit save. Here's a great learning lesson for all of us.
Yep.
Periodically hit save.
Is there a button on there that actually says save?
It's on the
Yeah,
upper
it's
right-hand
right.
corner.
Yep.
The blue one.
There it is. Okay. Very good. Sucks that it doesn't autosave, but I guess it can't do everything for us.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
let's
very
do-
unhappy right now.
It's not a huge deal. We'll get through it.
We can make it if we. I'm sorry.
If you remember some of the ability
Okay.
scores, just throw those in there. Start with that.
Okay, so magic blooded, it depends. So what is your race?
Half elf.
Then yes, what I would do is use the magic blooded template, and that's going to replace your normal racial features for being a half elf. So and that's fine because half elf don't have the strongest. They don't really have that good of class feature or racial features.
Well, wait. Let me make sure I want to do that. Let me just because I'm. Let me just.
That
check.
would be my caveat. So if you don't do it, then it would be pretty strong. It would put you pretty strong over everyone else here. But if you do replace out your half elf, you'd be just about on par, but with some cool flavor. Half elves are one of the weakest.
Because like I'm looking at like the half elf stuff. And like
Sure.
one of them is like immunity to sleep. And I think I
Yep.
get that with Fey heritage too.
Um,
I could be wrong. I might be thinking of Fey present, or yeah, I might be thinking of Fey presence. But let me look here.
yeah, so it's not on here. So it gives you a couple of bonuses to skills, which is pretty typical. It gives you a +2, -2 for your abilities, which is pretty typical. But you get at like character level 2. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that part. I thought this was at level 1.
Well,
Spell-like
and then like
abilities.
another one for half help is like I can see in low light. I get that with magic blooded too.
I actually don't think this is that strong. I think it'd be fine. I think it'd be fine actually if you do it with half health.
Sweet.
Yeah, read magic. Which class are you?
Sorcerer.
Yeah, so it
Which I
just
guess
gives you
is
a
the
couple
favored
more
class for
spells.
that.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a problem. If you were like something that's not a spellcaster and now you're getting 4 spell-like abilities, that's pretty OP.
Yeah.
But if you're already a spellcaster, then it's not going to be that
Okay, cool.
much more. So I think it's
Sweet.
fine.
Sweet. Thank you.
Plus, one of them's like read
Yeah.
magic, isn't it? That's not
Yeah.
incredibly useful for sorcerers.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, detect magic is super useful, and read
Yeah.
magic can be useful. Like, technically, you can read runes on a wall and see if they're explosive runes or whatever. But they're so situational
Yeah,
that
that's
that
way
you
more
know,
helpful, I would say, for people who use scrolls a lot, or specifically wizards who need to be able to copy scrolls.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's fine with me. Okay, did you get your character? Some of those back up, and if not, what can I help with?
Hang on. You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm punching in what I remember right now. I got like a couple of the fortitude, reflex, will kind of punch back in. I remember that I was at 501 on that. I might need to re-go again on the strength and dexterity, and then just in the racial features and class features and stuff. I can kind of just do that on my own time, like you guys said. But at least right now,
I'm usually after, I don't know, we put our kids down at like 9 and then we watch a show, and then
Whoa.
I'm usually down here at 10 Eastern. So
okay.
if you guys ever are hanging out, I don't mind helping, especially getting these characters all off the ground and stuff. So
You say put your
Okay,
kids down.
I
I thought
appreciate you
resurrect.
guys' patience and your help.
putting them down to sleep. Let's
Gotcha.
clarify.
I'm tracking.
They're kids, honey, not dogs. And you can't put the
Unless
dogs
the-
down either.
If you're like, well, what are you admitting? What crime are you admitting to right now?
What kind of
when you
favorite
say-
enemy is this ranger taking?
Oh, me? Magical beast.
Yeah, it was rhetorical, but thank you.
Babies.
You son of a.
Anyway, okay, so
It's a
we've gotten
giant
through
black and
that.
white dog.
Now we're down to did everyone get racial traits? At least generally understand racial traits?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're down to skills.
Phelan, are you doing okay over there? We're not hearing too much from you.
Uh-oh.
Is she
Oh,
here?
maybe
It's 'cause I'm
they
eating.
Oh,
Oh.
she's eating. But you're doing
No
okay.
worries.
Queen, honestly.
just checking
I
in
think
on you.
so.
Carry
Okay.
on.
Queen.
Okay, so a cool feature about Mythweavers is your class skills are going to be automatically uploaded. So if you go down to the second page, the top left of the second page, you'll see skills. If you've typed in your class, if you type in druid or barbarian or whatever, and then you hit update CC, it's going to automatically, so let's see, paladin, then I go down and I update CC, you hit OK, and it's going to update that. So the checkboxes are going to be on whether it's a cross class skill, and if it's unchecked, that means it's a class skill. That's going to be important here in a second, but that'll just narrow it down so that you know which skills your character can take without penalty and which ones are a little bit tougher for your character to take.
For some reason, it's
So-
not working for me.
Did you
Did you
type
click
in
on
for
it
your
on update
class?
CC?
I did, but I typed in rogue for my class, obviously. But when I click update CC, it's telling me that there's some kind of error. Unresolved skills cause problems, and it's like I didn't add anything. Custom skills should be preceded with a hashtag. Edit your skills and rerun update CC. What?
I do not know that one. That is interesting.
You put rogue under class,
Class?
correct? It doesn't say Asmar in there.
That's a dumb question, but yes, that is exactly what I put there.
Because I had them backwards in the beginning, so I just wondered. My
Oh,
God,
so you had race and class flipped?
Nope, I did
I
not
did,
have race and class
personally.
flipped.
I'm asking if she did by accident.
Nope, everything was fine.
Oh.
But maybe because I filled it out a little on my own last night, so let me try something real quick and see if maybe that's.
At one point in
What it's
time,
not doing.
classified as human.
What?
I got rid of those. So
Now
let's
my
try
race
that
is
now.
ranger.
Nope, still a problem.
Can you not just fill it out manually? Because you know what you're doing, right?
I can. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Especially since I just undid it all. But that's okay. I didn't hit save, so I can just leave and come back.
Like me. Oh,
Yes, like you, except not like you. Because
No,
it's on purpose
exactly.
this time.
you get it.
Okay, good. Everything's still there. All right. I don't know what's up with it, but I've got my stuff in there. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my first suggestion. It'll just save you from having to go back and forth between your class skills and your skill list on your character sheet and figure out which ones are class and which ones aren't. But everyone's going to get a certain number of skills. That certain number of skills is going to be based off of your class and your intelligence. So if we go back to the druid example, I know it's just favoring the druid. here.
Favoritism.
Yeah.
So the druid is going to have 4 plus your intelligence modifier per level. So every level you get 4. If you have a 13 intelligence, that's a +1. So you'd have 5 ranks every level.
We probably want to worry about level 1 though, right? Because those are different.
Correct. So that's what it's going to be every level, 5 ranks. But at first level, you're going to get 4 times that. So basically, you're starting off, so they give you a bunch of bonus ranks, and then as you level up, you get to kind of add to your stockpile that you already put in. Now, ranks are going to be assigned in one of 2 ways. If you assign a rank into a class skill, so that's a skill that your class is, kind of normally in. So, for example, if you're a rogue, then that could be basically anything on the list. They have a really big class skill list. So if they're like sleight of hand or spot or tumble, then it's got to be 1 rank equals 1, or sorry, 1 skill point equals 1 rank. So you're just buying it at a 1-to-1 ratio. If you're a barbarian and you want to do something other than basically climb, jump, and swim, then you have to spend 2 ranks for every, 2 skill points for every rank. So if you start off with 4 skill points and you want to put 2 in spellcraft for some reason, then that would cost you both or all of your 4 skill points to get 2 ranks. That might have been confusing.
It's very. I'm still trying to play a little bit of catch up myself right now.
Why is this so confusing?
Numbers, man. I'm saying.
Parkour. I like that.
That's the rogue tumble skill.
Parkour.
ah, damn.
All right, so let's just pick somebody out. Who wants to start with?
I'll go.
Okay, what is your? Is this the barbarian?
Human ranger.
Ranger. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I haven't learned everyone's voices yet. So, okay, so you're gonna get 6 skill points plus your intelligence modifier. What is that?
Intelligence is a 10, I think. No, it's 8.
Okay.
The modifier.
It's 8.
Okay.
It's -1.
8 is a -1. Okay. So so you get 6 -1, so you get 5 skill points times 4 for the first level. So every level after this, you're gonna get you're gonna be bumping up to you're just gonna get 5, but for this one you'll get 20. So with your character, if you've gotten your list set up right, And it's under Ranger. Let's do that on my sheet so that it's updated as well. Okay, so your class skills should be climb, concentrate, craft, handle animal, heal, hide, jump, listen, move silently. So you have 20 ranks that you can spread out for all of those boxes that are unchecked. If you decide to put a rank in any of those other ones that are checked, you have to spend 2 points to do that. And some of those you just can't. So like use magic device, you have to be trained on how to like use a wand. You can't just like pick it up and be like, I know how to do this. So if it's one of your class skills, so ride, listen, something like that, then you can it's 1-to-1.
Out of the
now
book.
you can correct. And if you look up at the top right part of the skills sheet there, it says your max rank 4/2.
Yeah.
What that means is if it's a class skill, you can have a max rank of 4. So you can only put 4 skill points in climb per se.
Okay.
And if it's a cross class, so say you want to learn bluff, then you can still spend 4 skill points to get your 2 ranks in it, but you can't go any higher than that at first level. And as you level up, that slowly gets higher and higher. So it makes it so that you can't like put 20 points in balance and just be perfect balancer and be trash at everything else. It forces you to kind of balance your character out a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Cruelty.
Yes.
So then
I got a DM.
So then, all right. So I'm starting out with 20 points.
Starting out with 20.
And those all go in the rank section.
Up to 4. Yep.
Okay.
Up to 4 in any class skill.
All right. Let's see. And the ones that are checked off are the ones that basically take a double penalty, 2-point penalty.
Correct.
Makes sense.
And if you're going to select one of those, just make sure you ask me because some of those are that trained only. So not too many, but there are some. And then there will also be, so it doesn't have, I just noticed it doesn't have certain ones checked off. So knowledge, nature is going to be one that, so you'll have to actually, it'll say knowledge 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Erase the 1 and put nature. Geography and dungeoneering. Those are the 3 knowledges that your character can know as a class skill. Druid, let's see. Knowledge nature, just knowledge nature. I know wizard get a bunch of them. Knowledge the planes, knowledge arcana.
And then there's the fucking rogue, which every class skill is a class skill almost.
Just about.
Literally.
It's amazing.
Must be nice.
It's called the skill monkey.
Oops.
All right, so
Does anyone else have questions about this, or are you guys all working on it?
I'm working on it, I think.
I think I already had mine picked out, so I'm gonna start assigning them. But
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm using the ones that I had. I'm just putting the right points for this level.
Okay.
Now, do your strength and all those points up there have any effect on these skills here at the bottom? Like
yes.
Okay, so we probably need to touch base a little later then catch up on that.
Sure. Well, the thing is, so the only thing that'll make an impact for you right now is your intelligence. What were you at for intelligence?
I think I picked 13. I remember correctly.
Yeah, then it dropped down to 11, so it'll be a 0. So it won't affect you at all. So
perfect.
But if you look at those skills when you're looking at the skills, there's ability modifier, rank, and then miscellaneous modifier. The rank is what you're putting in right now. Let's say you bluff. That's going to be a charisma based thing. So you have a minus 2 to your charisma. So if you put in 2 ranks of that and you have a minus 2, then you'll have a 0 for your skill modifier. So when you roll to bluff, you won't add or subtract anything. But if for climb, you get a +5 because you're super strong. So if you put no ranks in it, every time you roll to climb, you're going to add 5 to whatever your dice roll is. That's what skills basically do.
blah blah blah.
Can I screenshot mine and send it to you, Devin, to make sure it's right?
Is it your Mythweavers?
Yeah.
You can send
Or-
me the link to your Mythweavers, and it'll
Oh.
and then I can just look at it.
How do I do that? Under
You
Oh,
can either
sure.
direct message me or
He-
can
Do you
also
have
I
a
think you
just-
just get
username
the
on it?
URL. Just get the URL and send it to him. I
Oh,
think.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I see. You were talking
Um,
about the share button. Yeah, you can ignore that share button and just send it to me. If you copy and paste the mythweavers.com/sheet, yeah, that'll.
Okay, hopefully this will work.
The nice thing is, if you guys send me those, and you ever are missing a session, I technically can run your character. I always go by your guys' preference for that.
Oh hell no! No, I'm just
And-
kidding.
I already
I usually
sent
just have
mine.
to be the least. I always be like the least influential person ever, so they're always like an NPC following you around.
Oh, nice.
None of us have NPC syndrome, thankfully.
Did that work, Devin?
It did work. I'm trying to check to see.
I am going to step away for a brief moment.
Okay.
So 2 plus intelligence, so 5 times 4, so you get 20.
Oh. So I actually have more to use. I
Let's
thought I
see.
had 14.
For 6, 7, 8, and 10. Yes, so you should get 2 plus your intelligence modifier, which is 3 times 4. So yep, you should get 20. So 6 more points. But yeah, everything else looks good
We-
there.
Okay, then I'll just add some more and be good.
Fit.
Okay, yeah, it's looking like a lot of this the skills that I have are basically what's what I'm looking for? They cost double points, I guess you could
Cross
say.
class.
Yeah, cross class.
Yeah, so for you, climb, concentration, craft, handle animal, heal, hide, jump, listen, move silently, profession, ride, search, spot, survival, swim, and use rope. Those are your options. Everything else is twice.
Oh, okay, there is survival. There we go.
Oh, and knowledge nature, and knowledge dungeoneering, and knowledge geography.
So then I'll put.
And if you have questions about when any of those things are, let me know.
Okay.
Okay, I fixed mine. I don't know if you want to look at it, but I fixed it. Should be good now.
Oh, and in order to update it, you also have to save too.
Yeah.
The only correction that I have here is the max ranks that you can have is 4 for first level. So
Oh,
concentration would have
so you
to go
have to
down
distribute it that
a
way?
little bit. And then yeah,
Ew.
each level it goes up by 1. So yeah, there's a little bit of a cap on it. I'm sorry.
That's
Bearer of
annoying.
bad
Okay.
news. It makes it so
No, it's okay.
basically you can't just like completely hone your character to one theme. Which is I like your intuition because that's exactly what you should want to do as a primary caster. Your concentration is extremely important. For the primary casters, concentration means if you get hit in combat or something jarring really distracts you while you're casting, it's whether you fail your spell and you lose the spell and the effects don't happen, or if it's like one that you're maintaining, does it like stick to them or go away?
I would make the argument that it's not all that important at very low levels. Because you don't have a lot of spells that are
Mitch,
going to...
You're the one who told me to put so many freaking points in that shit. Although that was for the level 6, so maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like...
Yeah, well, I
Go
agree
ahead.
with you for a different reason. I would say
Yes.
it's not all that important at lower level, but it's not because there aren't too many spells. It's because if you get hit more than like twice at low level, then it doesn't matter if your spell fails. You're probably
asleep.
gonna die.
You're asleep. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you got to. It's not that you don't have too many spells to pick from. It's that you the spells that you have access to at those lower levels, most of them are going to be a standard action or maybe a full round action in the case of like one of the summon monster ones. So
Or the
you
really
just do them
concentration.
almost immediately, and there's no chance for somebody to interrupt you unless you get hit with an attack of opportunity, which hopefully you aren't getting hit with anyways.
I do have a critique on your on the pictures of the races that you sent.
Yeah.
The gnomes are shorter than the halflings. I know
Is that
that's
backwards?
Yeah.
It is back. I mean,
That's
I
from the
don't
player's
know.
handbook.
It is.
I know. I remember. I have that. Well, I had it. I loaned it to somebody and never saw it again.
Who are they? I'll beat their ass for you.
There you
It's
go.
probably my best friend. He moved to Florida.
Aw.
That bastard.
Anyway.
Um,
So, but they
that's
actually
cool.
had them backwards, huh? I didn't realize that.
Well, maybe not. Actually, it doesn't.
They're very
It might
close.
have been something else. Yeah, it actually it does say that that's correct. They're about the same height, but gnomes have an average height that's a little higher. So
Yeah.
fine, never mind. Ignore me.
I think I got my skill set up.
I think I fixed mine too.
Morgana and I were always obsessed with the half-orc lady on that one. She is quite a looker.
She's
I
like,
know. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
and she has a
I
belly
love
button
that.
ring. Queen.
Oh God, I missed that.
She has a belly button ring.
I didn't
I
need
always
to know
love
that.
the dwarf woman because she
Yeah.
just looks like if you made any kind of cat call at all, she would break your neck.
But she
Yes.
doesn't look like she wants to be there. She's like, "Are we done yet?"
No. She's like, are we done?
I always thought the elves looked crazy weird. Like
I
They do.
think the half-elf woman looks like Gozerian ass.
Are you a god?
Yeah, exactly. That hairstyle.
I think
Jesus.
like elves are super sexualized and they're supposed to be these like sexy, like soft kind of creatures. And this does a good job of making them look very like mystical and otherworldly.
Yeah.
Yes, I
kind of
agree.
appreciate.
Yeah.
I agree. They look a little alien, which I like.
Interestingly, the half-orc male and half-orc or the human
They're about the
in the
same height.
picture. Yeah, they're about the same height in that picture. I didn't know
Guys
the
look
half-orcs
roids.
were. Is he?
Yeah.
He's just on half-orc.
Yeah. He's on that old gog juice.
Ugh. I don't think anybody wants.
Gog.
Oh boy.
He's got a hold this gog.
Gog is on the grog, baby.
We're losing the plot.
Right.
Yeah,
Well-
Devin, can I go ahead and I'll send you my sheet that I have for now, and maybe you can take a look at it if you have a
Yeah.
free moment.
I mean, I have a free moment right now. I know some people are getting ready to be done, so the next step would be your languages. This is also going to be based, so everyone's going to get common. If you look at your character sheet, it's going to be second page, bottom right. So everyone's going to get common, and then your other languages, if you are a race, so elf, half-elf, dwarf, half-orc, you're going to get your primary language as well, so orc, elven, dwarven, those types of things. And then you
Yeah,
get
I
more
have,
based on each bonus, your intelligence modifier. So if you have a +3 to your intelligence, you get 3 more languages.
right.
And I'm going to
Okay, so-
send a link to show you guys, or actually, here we go. I'm going to send this over so that you can decide which languages to choose. Anyway, so
Wait, we get
saying,
an extra one?
if you have a +1 or higher in your
Intelligence, I think.
Modifier.
yes, in your
Which one?
intelligence. Sorry.
Oh. Oh, wait. Wait, so mine's 3.
Yep. So you get 3.
Cool.
Is it 3 on top of common or 3 and common's one of them?
So you get common. Everyone's going to get common. If
Yep.
you are a half orc or dwarf or elf or whatever, you get that whatever that other race is as well. So half elves or elves would get elven, dwarves would get dwarven, stuff like that. And then on top of those, everyone will get your intelligence bonus. And you can read and write all of those languages except for the barbarian. You can only listen. Sorry, you can only hear and speak those languages. You understand. You can't read it. My
You
brain shut
can.
off.
Is it? He has to blow 2 points to get up to become literate. Is that how it works?
Correct. 2 skill points if he wants to.
Now, my half orc traits also allow like draconic and goblin and shit. It says, do I also put those in here?
If you have the intelligence for it. So, yeah. Oh, and sorry, the druid will also get druidic. Only druids get druidic.
Does the rogue get thieves' cant?
That's actually 3.0. They got rid of it in 3.5.
Interesting.
Then brought it back in 5.
Did they really? That's
Yep.
funny.
So anything that says bonus languages, those are the ones that you can choose from if you have an intelligence bonus and you can get extra languages. Otherwise, you just get the common plus your racial one if you have one. Basically, everybody other than humans will get one of those.
Yep.
Orcs just really speak common, huh?
Orcs speak Orcish. Orc.
Yeah.
Common and
Yes.
Orcish. All right, very simple.
You get those two automatically, common and orcish.
Yeah, and it's your racial traits will give you like a reason, or sorry, a list of reasonable languages that you can speak. But if you have a good reason in your backstory of why you would know another one, then I'm open to that. Except for like druidic, you can't know
Yeah,
druidic unless
that
you
would be
know
like really like the only thing I would bring into question, but we already addressed that, so that's fine.
You could take a level
I
of
picked-
druid later and
so-
get it.
Okay, so just double checking. So I should have 3, right? Since my intelligence mod is 3, I have common, elven, and then I picked Sylvan.
You have common, elven, and now you pick 3. So Sylvan, 2 more.
Oh, I get 2 more?
Yeah. These aren't
Cool.
Americans. These aren't
Oh, boy.
Americans. They only know common. They learn, you're French. Think of
Yeah.
yourself as French. You know French. You know German, obviously, because they're right next door.
Now, Devin,
and you know
there's one thing,
Spanish.
there's
and
one thing
English.
you have to understand. I will never think of myself as French. Just
Oh,
saying.
this guy.
right.
That's
I
me.
was trying to make a
rubbing
good
off.
analogy.
I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, cool. I get to pick 2 more.
I'm sorry.
Huh.
This is the sad part for GOG.
Wait,
Like, these guys
I
all
potentially
speak
get to get
right.
more languages? I was putting a chicken in the
Yeah.
oven.
Based
Was
off
it-
of your
was it-
intelligence level.
Was it dead?
Yeah, well, eventually, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What is your intelligence modifier?
My intelligence
and your-
modifier is 3.
So you get 3
And what is
extra
your
languages.
race?
That's some more.
Okay, so you're gonna know common.
Yep.
Celestial.
Yep.
And 3 more.
And then 3 other ones. And if you go to the
Woohoo.
general chat, I've got a list of those options.
Woohoo. You just got to find the general chat now. There we go.
Trying to figure out if I want to take undercommon, even though my dwarf probably hasn't spent much time in the Underdark or any at all. But
I was
think,
thinking about that too.
I'm thinking he's gonna want to maybe explore there one day, but doesn't know it. If he's wandering around a lot, I think something more surface based would be more like maybe halfling or something like that would be more appropriate.
If you have spent time at Mithril Hall, then it would be reasonable that you would have learned it. So if you want to have it in, then it would be lore appropriate for you to know uncommon.
Like I would have had the opportunity to be exposed enough to it to have learned it if I wanted to.
Yeah, dwarves are pretty tactical, so they would know their enemies. So,
Right. But I
Dog-
mean, going that way, I could do goblin or orc too, right? But yeah, sorry. Anyway,
absolutely. Yeah. Gog,
Yes.
did you decide to change your dexterity intelligence? in charisma?
No, I believe I did 12 for dexterity, and I had
So
8
how I remember it,
for,
and
for
this
intelligence.
is up to you. So you would put 18 in strength, 16 in constitution, and then 13 in intelligence, 8 in charisma, and then I forgot which one was wisdom and dexterity. So it would have been the 10 and 12 in there somewhere.
Put dexterity a little higher, at least.
Okay, so
I
12
think.
and then 10 for wisdom. And then you would have -2 for charisma and intelligence and plus
Here, hang on.
2 for strength. So if you want to do that, then I can tell you what those stats would be. But if you want to keep it like this,
let me just it's probably going to end up just being the same. I'll start just a little quick, clean slate here. So yeah, like we said, I know for sure I want to keep strength. We have that at 18. Yeah, constitution. Yeah, 16.
yeah, 16. Okay.
And
And then
then
do you still want to dump your charisma as the weakest?
yes.
Okay, put that at 8.
Yep.
And then which one's next highest with 13? Dex, intelligence, or wisdom?
Intelligence 13.
Have a good workout, Avery.
And then
And
12.
then 12 dexterity, then 10 wisdom.
Okay, perfect. Now take 2 away from intelligence and charisma, and add 2 to strength, and that should be your stats.
There we go. Now we're looking good. And then I think we touched base again on what was the base attack bonuses.
Yours is 1. So where it says base,
Just 1.
yep, 1, and you'll have to do it both for melee and for grapple.
That's on that link that I sent you to Gog.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me refer back to that.
Under level 1.
Let me move to
It's like building a PC. You know, the
It
initial
kind
part
of
of it
is
is
for me,
very
man.
complicated, and then once you actually get into the nitty gritty, it's just smooth.
Yeah, if
I
you
know.
break it down, then it's not so
Very
hard. But
rocky and bumpy for me. So again, I totally take full responsibility of fucking up earlier, not saving my shit.
Ah,
which
you're
I
a
have been
terrible
doing
person.
Every 10 seconds, by the way. Now.
Very good.
There you go.
There we go. I did just now, just for you guys. Okay. Hang on. I think I fudged this up. Let me. The fortitude reflex will. Again, like I said too, I can touch base with you maybe individually away from everybody else's time and stuff because I don't want to be the guy keeping everybody back.
oh, no worries. So we only have 3 more complex one and 1 easy one left. So we're almost at the end here. And we still have like an hour and a half available. So the next one would be your feats. Now this is one of the most complex, just because there's so many freaking feats. So
Oh, I got 2.
You want to define what a feat is, kind of?
Yeah. So skills are the basic things that you're going to do consistently all throughout the campaign. So I want to climb up that wall. I want to jump over this, chasm. I want to bluff my way past this guard. So those are the skill checks you're going to do. Feats are basically extra bonuses or things that your character gets that helps you in a certain way. And they're super diverse. So they could be, something that helps out with those skill checks. So, iron will or something gives you a better chance at succeeding on will saves, or lightning reflexes helps with your reflex save. It could be something that helps out with your attacks. So maybe point blank shot allows you to do extra or be more accurate when you're shooting somebody with a bow or a sling short range. Or it could be something like power attack that allows you to hit them harder, but be a little bit less accurate. So it just really depends on what you're going for with the feats, but there are so many options that makes it more complex.
I really wish they had done the spell compendium. They took all the spells from a lot of the spells from a lot of the optional books and put them together. I really wish there was a feat book. 'Cause there are
Well,
so many flipping feats.
I'm
There-
like, dude, I'm like, what's the difference between feats and like features here, man?
yeah, it's supposed to be like feat as in achievement. Like that was an amazing feat that you accomplished. That's
Yeah,
supposed to be
a
the,
feat of strength, or you did
There we
you did something that like makes you heroic in the terms of the D&D campaign, right? Like if I
Okay.
this isn't an actual feat, but if I was super strong like you and I maybe had a feat that made me bend bars a little more easily, so if we got captured somehow, you'd be able to literally break the bars open or something on us and get us out.
Right.
That would be a
okay.
feat,
So
maybe.
that will just genuinely just get filled out later. Then I would say.
you absolutely can. This
Okay.
part
Yeah,
it's
take
not
take your time
necessary
to
right
like
now.
look it up and like find one that actually you like.
Yeah, and I
But how do I
can.
put feats down if I haven't done shit yet?
Yeah.
It's not an
Well,
accomplishment. It's something you're capable of doing.
like for
Yeah.
example, dude, like the one that I have for my chick is Fey Presence, because like my backstory for her is that she has like a like fairy heritage or whatever. So I picked Fey Presence, which she has from birth, but it's considered a feat because it gives me some like special ability type stuff that are kind of like spell abilities. So it doesn't have to be something you necessarily accomplish, but that's like how it can work basically.
Another one
If you-
like blind fight, where in melee, if you miss somebody because they're like concealed, then you get to re-roll to try to see if you actually do hit them. You're just used to fighting in a blind kind of like fighting in the dark or whatever. So it's just like it's the idea is you've gotten to level 1. Most people in the world are commoners. They never even got to level 1. So you've gotten there and you've got something that makes you stand out above, the average commoner.
They were like JoJo characters.
Oh boy, not everybody watches that goofy
I
shit.
have no idea what that means.
You of all people should,
That's
Why?
fine. The chat knows.
because he's talking about it all the time.
Just because he's talking about it all the time doesn't mean I listen.
Just because he's talking about it all the time, Mr. Hanky.
She never listens to me. It's fine.
Wow.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What?
Come on, shit off.
All right, so yeah, we can skip feats. So, and if you
I'll
guys
look
have
mine up
questions
later.
about feats, let me know. But yeah, we can come back to that. So now starting equipment.
Ooh.
So this is another one where you're going to go to your class list. So let's look at Ranger. I know they actually get some stuff. This is going to be the very bottom. Well, I guess not. At the very bottom. Where's that?
I'd have to go to the PH.
I think you do have to go to the player handbook.
The player
Okay,
handbook's
okay.
really not good at explaining your
It
starting
says
gear.
Elf Ranger starting package, but that's
Oh, here
That's
we
a
it.
go.
bit of a mess.
So if you go to the page, there's usually a couple to 3 or so pages for your class.
Yep.
Somewhere in there, it'll tell you what your starting gold is, and it will also present an option of, hey, if you don't want to have to pick all the possessions or equipment that you have yourself, here's a starting package that you can use that has typical equipment for your type of class.
Yeah, I'm there.
So I can go through it and tell everyone. Let's see, Rogue, you would start off with leather armor, short sword, light crossbow, dagger, thieves' tools, hooded lantern, 3 pints of oil, case with 10 crossbow bolts and 16 GP.
Now,
Dang, why do you get so much?
because I'm a rogue. I'm awesome. That's why. But the questions I
Mary
have
Sue.
in regards to that is I would like to use a hand crossbow and a rapier instead. Is that all right?
Is this gonna be all the way back up at the top where like your weapons and armor and stuff are?
Yes.
Okay.
no.
Some of it. So we're not filling anything out just yet on the character sheet. We're just trying to figure out like, what's our starting gold, and do we want to use that to buy the standard package that is presented for our particular class in the player's handbook?
You're saying instead of the short sword?
A rapier, yeah.
Yes, but it does cost 10 gold more. So instead of 16 GP, just start with 6 GP.
I'm cool with that. And is a hand crossbow okay?
Ooh, light. That one I think is significantly more expensive. So let's
Yeah,
see.
it probably is.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'll just get my own gold and buy one.
I'll
100
be
gold
down the
for
road.
that.
Mm,
And
that's a lot.
I don't start with shit.
Get good.
okay,
Get
It
rich.
says I start with it says I start with 50 gold.
it would be 75 gold more.
Yeah.
So probably not. So yeah, because you wouldn't really be able to sell anything else off. Yeah, probably not.
I mean,
But
you
that
don't
would be
have,
common enough that you'd be able to find it within a level or a couple levels at the most.
yeah, after your first adventure, you might be able to just buy one.
Are we getting like are we going by the amount given in the of gold given in the player's handbook, or are you giving us an amount that we all start with?
It's different for each class, so that might be unfair to some classes.
Yeah, so this is set up so that each class has a little bit different. So if you go off of the starting, so there's a difference between starting equipment and starting gold. So if you decide to do one, you don't get the other. So if you do starting gold, you have X number of gold and you buy out all of your own stuff. If you do starting equipment, then you start off with a set that's different for each class.
And then like a few gold left over, and that's it.
Yes.
How much is the gold if you do starting gold?
It's particular. It's each class.
Oh, it is.
You gotta,
Okay.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was that, or that's what I was asking. If you decided, like, remember that one dude?
Yeah,
had
we're not
every-
doing that way. Yeah, that
Okay.
he did it that way because we were starting at a higher level.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm just checking.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Um.
You also have, so along with the things that are stated in your class, you also get like a backpack, water skin, a days of trail rations, bedroll, torches, flint and steel, and a sack.
What's
So you've
like
got,
your
a list.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
I had an ADD moment where I was listening to you, but also trying to talk and go ahead. What's your like policy on like having like weird magical items or like
Trinkets.
heirlooms, shit like
There's a
that?
feat. There is a feat that you can select that would allow you to have like an heirloom. I can't think of the name of it right now.
So that's like the only time I just asked because of stuff like the necklace that I had for when I made this character for level 6. I had like the mage hand necklace.
Yeah, you'd have to buy that outright though, and that would be like 800 gold.
Okay.
Yeah, we
So
can
you
get you one
have
of those
stuff
pretty
like
easily.
stuff like that you have to buy.
Yeah, there's not really like, maybe if we were starting like level higher level, then you might be able to start with it. But because everyone starts so poor as a starting character, it's hard. Like she did with the short sword instead of a rapier. There's an actual set gold for each of those, and so she can lose 10 gold and the short sword, and still be like at the same level as everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
He's starting off with an at-will magic item, even if it's something relatively low, like Mage Hand is still, because again, if you just went to go and try and buy one, according to the Dungeon Master's Guide, I think it's like 800 gold for one of those. So you'd have to take that out of your starting gold, which is going to be way higher than what you're going to start with.
what characters or what classes do we have? Sorcerer, Rogue, Ranger, Druid,
Cleric.
Barbarian, and Cleric. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble finding, like, I got the starting gold. I'm trying to look up all the weapons,
I
but
just beat you to it. If you go to, oh, you're doing starting gold? I did not beat you to it.
I'm trying to find, like, I got my weapons list, and I want to know how much it is to buy some of these things with what I have, and it's only giving me, like,
there's a whole chapter for your equipment.
Do you have access to the Google Drive?
Hang on. You sent that in the email, right?
Yeah, I added you.
Yes.
I added the people who sent me emails.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So if you go in there and scroll down to Player's Handbook 1, that will about halfway through the book, you'll just want to look for the equipment chapter. There's a whole list. Now that's not the entire list. If you want like a massive list, I can send you that as well, but it's just more options. Are you on a computer or a phone?
I'm getting on the drive from my phone right now.
Okay.
You might want to open it on your computer because you can probably put keyword searches in there.
I just
And I
sent
don't know
you
if
an
you can do that on
email
mobile.
with this one will probably be easier if you're looking for weapons because it breaks it down a little bit better than the PHP. So you just go to that link I sent you, scroll down to where it says mundane weapons, and then it breaks it up by simple weapons, ranged and melee, martial weapons, ranged and melee, and then exotic weapons. You will probably want to look in martial. That's got things like battle axes, great clubs, halberd, anything like that.
Why can't I find the starting gold amount?
Because you're not looking hard
It's
enough.
usually at the end of your character's
up.
description. It's usually near the end of your character's description in the player's handbook.
I thought I.
Your
Did somebody
class's
just
class's
request
description.
access?
Pardon?
Did somebody just request access?
Oh.
I don't want to say a name.
Ignore it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I
No,
shared it.
it's because I was signed into a different account, so I had to switch accounts to get it.
Oh,
That's
Oops.
okay. I just shared it anyway, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just a random person.
It's fine. It's the same. It's me.
Random
Yeah,
person asking for access to your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. It's like I stole the stuff anyway, so whatever.
I would make sure that if you haven't already, to download a copy of that player's handbook. You can obviously use the one on his Google Drive, but I'm saying grab that PDF file and download a copy of it so that
Before I boot you.
Yeah, there's that too.
If your character
Before you're on the
dies, you
shit
lose
list.
access.
That's right. Oh, we're gonna die. There's gonna be a lot
Oh
of
my
death going
God,
on. I know
I
that's
can't-
happening.
Why can't I find this? Hold
Why
on.
are you freaking out? We'll help you. What
It's
are you looking for?
annoying because
Oh my
I'm
God.
trying to find the. I just want to know what the.
Wait a
starting
second.
gold amount.
You're the one who's gonna do all the negotiating for us?
Yeah.
Just
And
fucking with you.
I'm the sorcerer. That means I'm the hottest one.
Oh wow!
On
Is
the
that how it
plus
works?
side, I am a
That's
backup.
literally how it works. It says it in the fucking thing.
Well, you're so charismatic. I'm just
It
saying.
literally says in there that they're usually the hot one.
Jesus,
I'm not even kidding.
I believe you. I'm probably not making my
Remember
point
we
very
had
clearly
this
though.
talk about how
Why are you yelling?
You're yelling, bitch. I will fucking kill you. I will fucking murder you in your.
We're related, by the
In
way. I just want
Minecraft.
to.
Yeah, that's my brother. I can
Yeah,
talk
couldn't
to him
tell.
like that.
Just
Remember
mention
we-
that you're
remember-
not going to do it in reality, and we'll be fine.
Remember we had the talk about like if you're the hottest or if you're the best sorcerer, it means you're Megan Fox.
That wasn't me. I don't remember that
Yes, it
conversation.
was. We talked about it and we're laughing about it for like half an hour.
Was it?
Yes.
All right.
God.
That whole ordeal of trying to make the character under that other guy's game was like I have memory gaps from how unfun that was.
Oh my God.
It felt like a job
on.
more than we were doing something cool with an asshole boss on top of it.
And how do you feel right now?
I feel like I'm having a good time. Of course, I have to play with you. Nothing? Okay.
I'm getting texted. Hold on.
Cool.
We've lost the plot again.
No.
Did we ever have it?
That's true. I'm gonna pull up your stream, Amarana. I want to see
Okay,
how
Gog,
this is
what do you need help with right now? What are you working on right now?
No, hang on a second. well, I was trying to get the weapons shit handled, and then they're like, well, I sent you. Then I got on the Google Drive and I signed into all that, and then I'm looking through all the different fucking pages here, and
Okay. Are
I'm
you
just having
are
a
you on?
very hard time.
Okay, listen to me. Are you on the equipment section
Went to
for your
the
class?
weapons.
With
No,
your-
I'm
For
on
your
I'm on
class?
Evan's drive here,
Okay,
and I'm
try
filling
to.
through.
Isn't there a weapons and equipment list just for barbarians?
It's not going to look that way. If you look at the end of your class, yeah, there's a starting package that you can take if you want.
I found this website that might be helpful. Hold on, I'll put it in general.
Well, he's trying to do like 4 things at once there, so
Right,
Yeah,
I know,
we
but
got,
if
like,
I put it in
a
general, it
bunch of
might
people
simplify
asking
it.
different questions here. I'm having a difficult time. Hang on.
reminder to everybody to save your characters if you're updating.
Already
Yeah,
did.
believe me, I know. I'm already gonna have to like go back into the sheet as is already and go over a couple things that like we've already been way long past. Like,
We've got
funny that you
2
say
weeks
that, 'cause
before we're going to start, so keep that in mind.
It's funny that you sent that because I literally just copy and pasted that exact same thing above. I just deleted out the classes that weren't relevant.
Relevant, yeah. That's what I went off of to set mine up. So
Yeah.
because in the player's handbook makes it kind of confusing since what your starting equipment is
that's like a
in the
handbook.
middle.
That's like a handbook for every type of fart in D&D, man.
Well, I'm just talking about the player's handbook specifically. At the end of the thing, it does have a list of stuff, but it sounds like that stuff is to that character model that they set up at the end of your section. So it reads weird.
That you got to think of that starting package at the end there. Those are just suggestions.
It still reads weird.
Devin, I have a question.
Yeah. I'm just
Hey.
reading through the comments. I love that this guy said most people are level 0. This escapism is too real.
That's robust. Robust.
Oh,
He didn't
no.
play with
He's-
us.
Yeah, he's not allowed to comment. Somebody kick him out.
Gone.
Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
I might want to. So if I do the starting thing for sorcerer, it has a short spear, which I might do that. But what I had before was a dagger. Would I be able to use that instead of the short spear?
Yeah, I mean, I really just care about the balance, the gold balance. So if you're able to kind of cut it out and buy something else, as long as it's relatively common and that's not an issue.
Okay.
Obviously, like don't come back with like a Underdark katana dripping poison or something.
She would too.
No,
I conjured it out of shadow.
I'm saving my stupids for when I try to talk to him about the crystal cat. But we're
oh
not going
boy.
there right now.
The
We're not
crystal
going there right
Oh
now.
boy.
I'll DM you later.
Yeah, you don't want me on that
No,
conversation because I'll just
we
be
don't
barking
need your
from the sidelines.
fucking commentary about my crystal cat, you fucker.
But I may be overstressing this, but that starting package at the end of your class, and this goes for everybody, like those are just suggestions. You can adjust it as you want for anything that's in the player's handbook, as long as you can afford it by moving something out of the starting package, if that makes sense.
The starting package, like all of the starting packages come with, like they say, and you get this much gold. That's not.
Yeah,
That's like.
You get a little extra gold at the end of the starting
Okay.
package.
That's what I thought, but I'm just
Yeah.
confirming.
But then
Or
also, if
ahead.
just to know your characters, no matter what class they're in, if you choose the packages, you also get a backpack, water skin, day's trail rations, bedroll, sack, flint and steel, 3 torches. So
is that a house rule or is that part of the thing? Because I never was clear on that.
That's the package.
yeah, and you also have like 1 outfit of clothes. So yeah, that's part of the package. That's part of. So everyone has that, some clothes, those basic supplies, and then depending on your class, the different things.
Would you mind putting that in the characters channel or in the general channel, just so I have that
It
list
is
in front of me?
in General's channel, along with your
Okay.
guys' specific.
Oh, I see it there. Yes,
classes.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Whatever.
All right. Has everyone got this? Feel good about
No.
this?
Oh boy.
Wait, did Gog say no?
Please,
Gog, you
please
don't have
help
to worry
Gog
about
before he gives up. Please.
Gog, this next section is 100% something you can ignore. Same with the rogue. Rogue
Cool.
gets to ignore this next
I'll take a
section.
nap.
Next section
Okay.
is spells. So we're going to go back to
And the barbarian, yes.
character sheet.
And me
so let's
currently.
see, cleric 3.5.
Oh boy.
So if I'm looking at the cleric 3.5, first level, we already looked at base attack, the different saves, the special class features, and then the last section there is your spells. So your spells are going to be there are two types of spells. There's 0 level spells, and then there's there's leveled spells. So you're depending on what class you're in, you're going to have those. It'll say how many spells you have. So for him, cleric, he's going to start with 3 orisons, which are 0 level divine spells, and 1 first level spell, along with a domain spell.
Yeah. I just quick side note: anybody who is having trouble with anything, that we have a whole 2 weeks before we plan on starting the actual campaign. So anything you're having trouble with, anything you don't want to bring up now while everybody's on the call, reach out to Devin between that 2-week period, and we will. I'm sure the two of you can get it figured out. Whatever it is that you might, even if it's the significant parts that we've already gone over. And I'm telling that for everybody, because I know some of you have D&D experience, some of you have maybe a little 3.5 experience. Like, relax, we'll get there. Go ahead, Devin. Sorry.
That's it. And then the other thing is you get bonus spells based on your ability, your primary casting ability. So for druids and clerics, that's your wisdom. If you have a high wisdom, then you get bonus spells. And if you are a wizard, it's intelligence. If you're a sorcerer, it's charisma. So for all you guys, I think you put your highest spell casting ability is 18. Is that right for all you guys?
That is for me. The
I'm
cleric.
sorry, I wasn't listening because you were talking about spells. Did I need to listen?
Go
No,
away,
only if you're
Amarana.
a spellcaster.
Okay, all right.
So if that's the case, then you'll all get a bonus first level spell as well. So whatever the numbers are on your character class list, plus 1 more spell.
Which number am I looking for?
Which class are you?
Sorcerer.
Okay, let's see. Sorcerer. Your first level. So if you look at are you looking at that first line in your sorcerer? That
Yeah.
like big table?
Yeah.
Right after where it says summon familiar, you get your 5, 3, 5 0 level spells, 3 first level spells. You're actually going to get 4 first level spells.
Nice. But still 5 zeros, right?
5 zeros, yep. And then 3 first levels.
Why do I get that bonus?
Because
you're special.
So if it's based off of your ability. So basically you're really charismatic, and since charisma is your primary casting ability, you're so good at manipulating like your charisma for magic that you can tap into it greater than somebody who's weaker charisma. So the higher that goes, like when you get to 44 or 45 charisma, then you can have 5 extra first level spells.
Good flavor text.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Now I don't get spell casting for another few levels, so.
Yes, that will always be something that you can do, but never very like impactfully.
Yep.
You also get a relatively unique. Well, it's similar to the druid, but rangers get some of their own spells as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm special, Ed.
Jeez.
Magic missile.
Wow.
Don't you wow me,
Yeah.
Wow.
you stumpy ass little cleric.
Listen, you. If I catch you, you're in trouble.
Only if you short sprint.
Actually, later on,
any farther than 30 feet and I'm fucking gone.
I didn't realize this until I started looking at it, but because one of the domains I picked for cleric spells was travel, I actually get access to teleport type spells later on, including the spell teleport, which is
Clerics
nuts.
get that?
No, if you take the travel domain, it's
Oh.
yeah, the domain is like a basically something that my
Area
deity is in
focus.
kind of charge of. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, last thing. So this is where we're just going back through the sheet and hitting all the spots that you haven't gotten to hit yet. So deity, if you want to pick a deity, you can do that. Eyes, hair, weight, height, gender, any of those miscellaneous things. Your speed, I think we covered speed, but if you haven't gotten that, if you put on your equipment, if you want to take your time doing that too, that's fine. But making sure that all of that went up to your armor class correctly. And I'll wait to explain armor class and how like attacks work until we're in game, because it's a little bit easier to just see it work in action rather than try to explain it overall.
Yep.
Your armor type, if you bought an armor, your armor is going to be typed as either heavy, light, or medium. It matters for some things, like certain class features, like a barbarian loses his speed if he's wearing something more than light armor. So it's just like something to keep an eye on. But generally speaking, it's not really that important. And then you got languages, other possessions, and then the only other thing would really be like things like if you've got a familiar, so sorcerer, or if you've got an animal companion, druid, adding those in. You actually get to select yours. For sorcerer, there's a huge list of greater. What am I trying to say? There's a huge
Familiars?
list of familiars. Yes,
Yes.
different familiars. I like the idea that you got a damn hummingbird or like earthworm or like whatever is your familiar. I just think it's cute, cool to have a lot more diversity than like the 16 options they present you. So I'll send that list over to you.
She actually has something picked out that she's probably going to reach out to you about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a pseudo dragon? Better not be a pseudo dragon.
Fuck no. Do I sound basic to you? Come on now.
I
Pseudo
don't
dragon
know.
is not basic. What's the matter with
That
you?
is such a basic bitch
When you claim
choice.
when you claim to be special, you're relatively basic in your character creation.
Now listen, I did not say I was the special one. He said I was special. So if he says it, it's
Technically,
true.
I said you were special, but
God, here we go,
Okay,
losing the thread again.
See?
What
No,
thread?
but no, it's not a pseudo dragon. No.
Nothing wrong with
Druids
pseudo
limited
dragon.
to
It's a
animal
displacer
companions they have
beast.
listed.
What?
Say it again, Star.
Are druids am I limited to those animal companions they have listed?
No, same thing. I have a list of a variety. Animal companions are a little more restricted than the familiars, because familiars are like, they're basically normal animals, but if they die,
Okay.
they hurt the sorcerer like significantly. So
Okay.
they don't want to be in combat necessarily, because if that thing gets hit and killed, I think it hurts the XP of
It
like
does.
it can actually like permanently hurt the sorcerer.
Get
With
wrecked,
animal
magic
companions,
man, woman.
it's kind of sad, because you think like, they're nature hippies and they love, but like they also recognize the circle of life. And so if your wolf gets its head cut off in battle, like
I bet I can find
That's-
another wolf.
that's how it works. Yeah, literally, there's no penalty for a druid who's like, I don't like this wolf anymore. Go away. I'm gonna pick a new animal. Or for one that dies in battle, and you're like, all right, time to find a new animal. So there's no penalty like the familiars, because familiars are
wants to die
technically
next?
magical creatures.
Shit sucks, bro.
there's also the opportunity when you, so as the druids and eventually rangers can do the same, just they're always at a lower level. When we get, let's say we're in a swamp and you want to like get a hippo as a animal familiar, like potentially if we're in an area where it could happen, then I'll let it happen. Like I'll let the opportunity happen. So you just have to let me know what you're looking for.
I don't know, damn hippo. They're cool, but I don't want one.
The cool thing is too is you
Did you-
actually control that character like as a pet.
Yeah. Did you know that hippos are the most dangerous land animal?
Yeah.
Hell yes, I've been playing Nightingale, and those things are vicious.
It's crazy.
My dad has 2 of them tattooed on him.
All right, now that the threat is gone again.
I know.
I'm the most dangerous land animal.
That's exactly what my dad says.
I thought white people were like the dangerous
Oh, boy.
animal.
Here we go.
Did
There
you
we
say
go.
Daryl's not white?
We're in
White.
the deep water here.
You know, I was
Why
more of a.
people?
All right, I'm not gonna make the joke.
You're not, but you're probably the one that can.
I'm the
You're
one
the
that
one
can.
It was
Yeah.
that
You're
movie.
allowed to
It was that movie that came out.
Are
that
you
said white
seriously
people
not
were
going to
dangerous.
take that opportunity?
And poor Devin's over there
'Cause
like,
I sure
Jesus
as fuck
Christ, what
would.
am I doing here?
He knows what
Just
he's the only one who knows what he's doing.
All right, any questions? I know that was an absolute boatload, but that is it. So if everyone's gotten through that, then
Well,
they're done. But
this
let's
is
go back
why-
and see if anyone has any questions or anything about it.
Can you check your DMs?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
This stuff that we're running into right now, and then when we do our first fights and stuff next week, probably.
And
This is why I was asking everybody to try and read up as much of this stuff as I was sending to you. I know it's a lot to get through in the beginning, but once we actually start playing, we'll get into a rhythm. Things will feel more normal or whatever. It just
It's
there's
not
a little
going to be as intimidating when we actually
Yes.
play.
there's a bit of a learning curve or whatever you want to call it. You got to get over a little bit of a hump to what is it, high cost for entry or whatever you want to call it.
Well, plus once you fill out the sheet, everything's there in front of you. You can just look
That's
at
true.
it when you're playing.
Yeah.
So
Almost.
It's
And you can
getting to
always
that
make
point,
note.
Yeah.
understanding everything that is the problem.
mhm.
Domain spell do I want? Anybody got any questions?
no, I'll be working on my feats. Off of
Pizzas?
Yeah, my
Your
feetses.
feet.
Be working on
My
my
feetses.
feetses
Proud.
off
Proud
of
feet.
camera. Yeah, stop. Shut up.
All right.
We're
Don't
getting
fail
on
me
both of
now.
my feet. God damn it. Whatever. Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
All right.
my God.
The link I just sent to the feats chat is huge, literally like thousands of them. So
Oh, it's an index. That's awesome.
yeah, all feats from all sources. It's
Great.
crazy.
Holy shit.
I'm using
Look at
that.
that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So just know that a lot of those things require you to be dragon or abyssal or something. So just know a lot of the stuff. It's got prerequisites that just won't apply to you, but there are some really cool ones. So what I often do is I just do Control F and I'll look through to try to see, like, is there anything specifically like druid related or specifically like about based on cleave or
Right.
whatever thing that I'm trying to do with my character.
And a lot of them also, you'll need prerequisites to get access to them. So they're ones that you really can only take when you get to higher levels. That hopefully this thing includes information about that too, or at least the link for the specific feat will have that information in there. But just keep that in mind. So Great Cleave is an example. You can't get that one until you already have Cleave. So you got to wait a little while, usually a couple of levels or so, before you can get access to that one.
Cool.
Mhm.
I wonder if these are including they must include feats from a lot of the optional books as well as the Forgotten Realms books too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's like Forgotten Realms book. It's also like Unearthed Arcana and
Jesus, they got Dragon Magazine ones in here.
Yep, it's all official sources, and
That's
technically
dope.
all the Dragon magazines are official.
Official, yeah.
Right.
Amarada, did you? Sorry, I went back to that name
That's
because I
fine.
forgot which one. I did add that.
Okay, thank you.
And who is the sorcerer?
Me, Morgana.
Send you this.
I'm gonna put my class and my name on the server here.
Sorry, I'm trying. It's hard because then when I go to my direct messages, that's not.
It's
got your
totally
message.
different names. Yeah.
Well, let's see. I think I can send over here. There we go. Message. Okay. Okay. There is your list of familiars. Now, some of those familiars require things like
Gold and
the
shit.
improved familiar feat, or there's another one like a celestial familiar. So they're different options, and some of them, like he said, like you have to be higher level to be able to do that.
Yeah, the pseudo dragon you can't get access until level 7 at the earliest.
Yeah, in the last game I played, the dude was a paladin, and he ended up getting like some sort of dragon mount, and it was stupid.
The hell?
Yeah, it's a
It was
feat you should do.
stupid.
It
I
was
hated
so
him
annoying.
for it.
I really did.
Sounds
And then
right.
Phelan, that's the druid.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be a complete list of the animal companions. So, by level. Oh, this is like
Mm.
that is not a complete list. I lied.
He sent
I'm
you a
all-
less than complete list. What a dick.
Well, that was like a min max. Sorry, it wasn't a complete list because it's like a min max. Like these are the best ones.
Yeah.
I don't like that necessarily. I mean, like go for it if you want, but I
Yeah.
like ones that
Oh
are
my
cool.
god. You can have Beholderkin.
Oh boy.
That's hilarious.
I'd
It's
rather
like
you
a
didn't do that.
huge Eye of Sauron following you around.
What the hell?
Um,
Rogue, can you say your name, please? Because that's new to me.
Rosara?
Rosara?
Rosara.
You know what, Morgana? I think I'm gonna have to change my name because it is way
You're
too
too
to yours.
close
No,
to
it's
mine.
Morgan.
You know what? Why are you yelling at me? This is the name I came up with. You change
Morgan,
yours.
I
Morgan.
didn't yell. I'm not yelling. You have your volume
You
turned
can
up because
really
you're
tell
deaf.
that these
kidding
people are
around.
related.
I'm being facetious here.
Morgana, you should change your name to Mindy.
No,
Yeah.
I had it first. He has to
Morgan Mindy.
change it.
Oh boy.
Oh Jesus.
You should be like Patrick.
No, this is Patrick.
I'll update mine at some point. I have to go through. I'm trying to avoid having a dwarven like clan name that's like in common. Like it never made any sense to me why Brunner Battlehammer would have a flippin' common name. Like,
Oh, I found it. That link I sent you, Stardust, does have. If you just scroll down a little bit to one of the comments, just a couple down, it has like normal animal companions. If you have this feat, if you have that feat, so you'll just want to
Okay.
look at the normal animal companions. It's a huge list, though. It's a huge list. Let's see, wolf. Let's go. Baboon, badger, barracuda, Brixil-Schulte, if you're a halfling, camel, chipmunk, dinosaur. So
Miniature horse?
Oh my God. Here we go.
horse,
bitch.
horse,
No,
heavy or
miniature
horse
horse.
light?
Miniature horse.
Horse.
you can have a
Horse,
pony, right?
not miniature.
Huh?
Yep,
No.
pony.
A pony is not the same thing as a miniature horse.
Tough shit.
No, it's not.
That's what you get.
Vulture.
No,
If you're
a
an
miniature
orc.
horse is it's its own thing.
It's really it's its own little thing. It's a literally just a
We're
miniature
moving on from the
actual
miniature horse. The DM is talking.
He was.
No, it's okay. I was just commenting if you wanted a vulture.
Vulture would be cool.
So,
Vulture.
yeah. Okay. Anyone have any other things? I mean, technically, I still had an hour blocked out, but
If you don't
Or
mind
if there's
hanging
anything
around,
Yeah.
just because I'm gonna go back through mine again from scratch. I'm not changing anything unless it's something that needs to be updated. But just in case we have questions or something like that, I would appreciate it if you got time.
If you're doing
Yeah.
it from scratch, I'll stick around too. I might have to take like a whole day individually or something. Or not a whole day, but but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm not that dumb. I'm pretty dumb though.
No,
Yeah.
it's like I said, every night I'm basically down here just dinking around. So if anyone wants to,
And
needs help
like
with
I
stuff.
said, we have 2 whole weeks before like this is due, quote unquote, right? So you know we'll get everybody there. It's cool.
I know, but like I said, I know like 80-90% of that's because I fudged up and just didn't save my shit and backed up, and I'm trying to just play a little bit of catch up, and everyone's already light years ahead, and I'm still trying to read over some of these files of shit I've been trying to look
think
into
it's
from
less-
like
I
40
think
minutes
it's less
ago.
that we're way ahead of you. I think it's just that like for me and Darylyn like sat here and he helped me make this character like a few weeks ago. So like I've already got all my spells and stuff picked out. You know what I mean? So I think you just have to sit and look at some of the stuff. Like I know you said you picked your deity, but like the equipment and stuff, if you don't want the starter thing, like you'll have to pick that. But just look through the descriptions.
Yeah, I'll
And
get
these
back.
guys can help you.
Yeah,
You got a
I certainly
friend
hope
in
so.
me.
Finally.
Someone wants to be his friend. Anyway.
I'm half orc. Nobody does.
Yeah, get out of here.
Gog and his grog.
Mobbing with Gog. But
Mobbing
alrighty.
with Goggin.
Walter Goggins.
Walter, God damn it, you beat me to it.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Dog, one thing we might want to start thinking about for you, and maybe this is more of a conversation you and the DM should have, but like you're chaotic neutral. It sounds like your charisma is going to be around 6, and you're half orc. Like you might want to stay, and you're a barbarian that rages. So you might want to start thinking about how you're going to be behaving peaceably around other people. Because the character you're describing right now sounds like he's on a hair trigger ready to start murdering people. Obviously, he's not evil. Obviously, he's not evil. It's just something to keep in mind. And I think I was telling you the one day about, like, you're going to probably run into a good bit of racism because people have lost loved ones or they've been in fights with the orcs or whatever kind of a thing. So just start thinking about how you want to handle that. I'm not telling you not to react to it. I'm just saying, like, well, he's probably run into this a couple of times before in his life. I wonder if there's a way that he can, try to suppress and deal with it or whatever kind of thing.
I've thought a little bit about that too, which is,
yeah.
I'm trying to, in terms of like his backstory and his upbringing, that kind of goes hand in hand with like being raised by just like this, like, what the hell is like a ranger I was reading into, like, what is it? Horizon Walker, I think. Something like that. I don't know if I don't know, maybe getting, feel like his younger years, child years, getting another little more insight on like the outside world and maybe their understanding of things. I don't know. There's a whole other, there's a whole list of possibilities and options I think laid out before him. But if it really will be an issue, I don't have any problem going back and changing it. Like I said,
No.
I
You
might have
stay half orc. Just keep it in mind. Is all I'm saying.
No, I know. But like I said too, I might have to maybe get in contact with you, Devin, or maybe you, Shane, and kind of go back and maybe do another once through of this. Maybe it's more severely trimmed down than we did today because we got like 7 people in here, all asking questions, making their characters as well.
6.
Obviously, everyone's way more experienced. 6. But yeah, so I'll take that into account as well in terms of thinking about how to react to these certain things, which I'll inevitably be running into.
There's one other person in here who this is their first experience with D&D. This first time they've ever created a character or anything. So you've done so in 5th edition, and we've even done a couple of combats in 5th edition a while ago. So you're a little further ahead than some people. You're fine, man. Don't sweat it. We'll get you there.
Come on, man.
All right.
Yeah, it's really don't stress out over it. It's like no big deal. It'll be fine.
So I'm looking. Oh, never mind. I figured it out. Never mind. I'm going through this feats list, and I saw regional things, and
Regional
that's
managers?
something I'm not used to. Regional feats that you can take if you're from a region.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I don't know if that's specific to Forgotten Realms, but it seemed kind of interesting. Like, and it makes sense to some degree. I'm sure some of them are racially tied. Some of them maybe like maybe they got attacked by giants a lot, so everybody's a little bit better at fighting giants or something. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up there.
Yeah.
Jesus, sheep. Thank you for that.
No problem, man.
Well,
Have you ever
just so,
seen the movie Trading Places with Eddie
Oh,
Murphy?
I love
yes.
that movie.
That was a favorite.
Is that what you're referencing?
Me?
No.
Or
In the very,
yes,
in
that
the
is
very
the-
beginning,
actually,
I thought he was too.
we were just talking about that a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Like, it was a
Eddie
stone
Murphy's like,
move, my man.
yeah, man, I punched
Yeah.
the blood right out of his body, man.
Yeah.
Man, if you karate, man, then why don't you break out of this? Yeah, that's what I think of every time you say
Yeah.
that.
Who has been putting their cools out in my rug?
Oh,
Amazing
that's such
movie.
a funny movie. Eddie Murphy is just absolutely brilliant in that.
That was a great movie. That was a Christmas movie, technically.
Yep.
It was.
I went to New Year's as well.
There you go. Jamie
I
Lee
think my
Curtis.
favorite part's when Dan Aykroyd is in the Santa Claus suit and he's really drunk and he just sees Eddie Murphy and goes, "Bleh."
Anybody else
Alright.
ever see like? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you are DM. It's probably way more important than more Eddie Murphy shit I was going to talk about.
Morgana.
Yes.
Your Mythweavers. So you forgot the base. You have to add in the base. Oh, you might have. The base save for your will is a 2.
I'm sorry. Where?
You see your abilities.
Yeah.
Go down from there. You see Fortitude, Reflex, and Will is the third one.
Oh, for Will.
Yep. Second box over is base. Change that to 2.
Okay.
Let's see. You said you haven't bought equipment, but something to keep in mind. It'll only apply to you because I don't think there's any other arcane casters. Certain equipment will have what's called spell failure chance. Basically, there are 3 types of components. You only deal with 2 of them, somatic and verbal. But somatic are like movement, and if you have armor that's too clunky, then
Yeah, I knew about that.
Wait a minute. Sorcerers don't have to deal with material components?
Nope.
Nope.
They power from within.
Holy shit.
I think
That's
it's just.
insane because
I think it's
those
just.
higher level spells that like have high cost material components, you can just cast them. That's
a lot
nuts.
of those spells that you're not able. A lot of those spells that like require like resurrection, for example, requires that like 5,000 GP like worth gemstone. They don't have that as an option. So,
Right, but they're sorcerers. They wouldn't get that anyways, right?
Sure, but same thing with like a lot of those high level wizard spells that require an expensive component. They don't have access to those.
Interesting.
Maybe actually, let me double check. Source, they might have the same spell.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Devin. I think I remember reading that.
There is at least one spell I know of because if you go through the player's handbook, the sorcerer and wizard spell lists are almost 100% identical as far as I can tell. There's at least one though.
I'm seeing is a sorcerer / wizard spell list.
Yeah.
I might just be wrong on that.
Yeah. So
If
there
that's
is
the case,
one.
then yes, that could be really powerful to just be able to like ignore the cost.
And a perfect example. Well, I was going to say a perfect example of that is Stone Skin. That's 250 gold pieces worth of diamond dust per casting. If they don't have to pay that, they can just cast it as many times as they want to, and that's a really useful. That's a really useful buff. Now the problem there is that you get a limited number of spells that you can use, so you have to figure out whether or not you want to take that as one of those spells or whatever. But what I was going to say is that there's at least one spell I know of that is wizard only, and that's one of the raries spells. And the reason why is it because it has something to do with the way wizards specifically cast spells. There's probably a couple others in there that might be sorcerer only or another couple that are wizard only. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm going through this list and I'm just about to change my backstory a little again just because I found a feat I like that fits my backstory. Except for
there, see? That's what Morgana did too.
I like my backstory. I'm leaving it.
I mean, I just have to change from one city to a different city. But
well, Phelan, why don't you share our your backstory that you shared with me?
1 second, Morgana.
That was a bit of a joke.
You have 6 0-level spells. You're only supposed to have 5.
Wait.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3.
You thought you were so
Oh,
sneaky.
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Caught in
Does she get a
forecast.
bonus for
Okay.
having a high charisma, or is that not? They don't do that for 0 levels, I think.
Not for 0 levels.
Yeah.
okay.
And
Well,
then the
I'll just.
last thing is I didn't talk about the spell saves, so I guess if everyone wants to tune in for spell saves, the DC. So basically, what that means, there's 2 types of spells. Well, there's 3 types of spells. There's spells that don't have difficulty; they just happen. So that could be something like haste. You cast haste on somebody, they're not going to resist it, so it doesn't require anything. The second is targeted spells, where you target an area. So you say a fireball, you shoot a fireball, and then it goes and detonates no matter what. But they then have to react to whatever the consequences are. So maybe they do a reflex save or a fortitude save, or maybe it just blinds them because it's a ball of darkness or whatever. The third kind is it sets a D. Oh, sorry, there's a fourth kind too. The third kind
Ooh.
is a ranged touch attack. So basically, you're attacking them with a spell, and you're trying to beat their touch armor class, which is a weaker version of their armor class. And the final type of spell is a difficulty check. So that's where they're using their mind to block your spell. So your spell DC, if you go on the 3rd page where it has all your spells, the 3rd page is going to have on the left your spells known, and then the next slot down is your spell saves. So this is going to be 10 plus the level of the spell plus your modifier for that spell. So if you're sorcerer, it's your charisma. If you're a druid or cleric, it's going to be your wisdom. Or if you're a wizard, it's your intelligence, that bonus. So for all of you guys, that should be +4. So the spell save for a 0 level spell should be 0 plus 10 plus 4, so 14. And then each one of those save DCs goes up by 1 each level. Does that make sense?
That's a lot to
No.
absorb, but we'll figure it out here. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the key here is, after everything I just explained, in that box that says save DC level 0, put 14, and then the next box down, put 15. That's all we need to do right now. So
Can you repeat that?
sure. Spell saves on page 3. The
Yeah.
first box there, save DC 14,
Okay.
and the second one 15. Now, what that means is when you cast a spell and they're able to resist it. So let's say you try to charm me with a charm person spell. I roll a d20 to resist that using my will save to resist it, and you have set the DC at 10 plus your level, which that would be a level 1, so +1, plus your charisma, if you're a sorcerer, because you're exceptionally good at casting it with your charisma. So the DC would be 15. So I would have to roll a 15 or better in order to
resist it.
resist that. So the better
Okay.
your charisma, the higher the spell, the harder it is to avoid.
Okay.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for ease of use, like you were saying, just it's 14, 15, 16, 17, blah 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 on the far left side, save DC. But yeah, he's explaining why it is that.
Yeah, and we'll see
Okay.
that when we're actually in game. You'll see how it plays out, and then it'll make sense. But
Wait, is that for all of us?
that is
For anybody who's a spellcaster.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. All right.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry. But that's it. Everything else on your character sheet looks good, though.
I'm putting a link to a feat in the general chat. If you could take a look at it and tell me if you think it's okay for me to take, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that.
Okay. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna, but
Kind of fits with your background too, right?
that's exactly why it's so tempting to take it. because it really does. It fits perfectly.
Oh, I'm glad that this came up too, because I was going to ask, what is your guys? I know that I asked the question in the group, but nobody knew me. So maybe now that you guys know me, you might have more of an idea. Is there any particular things that you guys were looking to do, like, eventually build your own castle or create your own empire or become the gods, or is there any kind of overarching playthrough ideas that you guys were hoping to do, or adventure ideas?
Personally, now that I have my character, because the first time you ask, it's less about knowing you and more
I don't
about
even know
not knowing my
I don't even know
character.
who I am yet.
Yeah, I don't know who I am yet, so how can I tell you what she wants? But now that I know who she is, I think I want to basically, her part of her goal is obviously going to be to set up a trade route to her, back to her family to rebuild the family business.
Okay.
That is a very, I think, achievable goal.
I mean, it sounds a little more achievable than become the gods, that's for sure.
Nah, I don't know about that. Have you ever tried to do a business?
I mean, this is D&D. That is actually quite achievable.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You're either fighting the economy or fighting a god.
That's right.
One of those has like a very realistic outcome. The other one is a trade route.
Yeah. You know what? Real.
No, 100% honest. If you guys do want to try to become gods, I'm currently running a campaign like that right now. They unfortunately went the evil route. And because I play with a bunch of edgelords, dumb morons. But if you guys wanted to go that route, I would want to adjust one thing. Just when you level up, every 4 levels, you normally gain 1 attribute bonus. I would just increase that so you gain plus 1 to do different attributes. But we don't have to go that route if you guys don't want to. But
I'm not too concerned about becoming a god, but if other people want to go that way, I'm cool with it.
This is the type of conversation that you only have in D&D. And one more quick side note to that: if somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes, exactly.
According to the half elf on page whatever the fuck.
Okay.
So let me ask, or unless somebody has an answer to that, overall overarching ideas of what they'd want to do.
I kind of got mine, so.
I hadn't really thought about it too much, but I will think about it as part of my background, like what he would like to accomplish.
Okay.
Only one.
How about this? So I'll give you guys 2 different options that will dictate kind of the beginning portion of the campaign. So would you guys like to start as a group of gophers for a mighty wizard, where you go and he says, I need troll teeth, and you have to go off on a trip to go obtain some troll teeth and bring them back to him for pay? Or would you rather, with a traditional, you start,
in a tavern?
When you start, not in a tavern, I go a different route with it.
Okay, cool.
When you start on a caravan as caravan guards, you've already started your journey, so you can't turn around yet.
Oh, here I was thinking he was going to say whorehouse, but okay.
Is it going to be, oh wow, you're finally awake? Oh, or whatever the fucking Skyrim thing.
You're finally awake.
No, where this is going.
And then the dragon shows up.
Yeah.
I know my ancestors are proud of me, Stormcloak.
Stormcloak.
My ancestors
Can your ancestors say the same?
Can you say the same?
Oh my god.
Yeah, not quite that much of a hijack. I definitely will hijack. Hopefully you guys, I read some more obscure 80s and 90s, 70s to 90s fantasy fiction. So usually people don't catch my my hijacking. But yeah, obviously everyone has to hijack Skyrim here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those would be the 2 options.
I'm sorry, what were they again?
So the
wizard gopher.
Yeah, you want to be a gopher for a wizard, where he says, hey, I need this ingredient, this rare alchemical ingredient, go find it, and then you guys have to go and search it, and you get paid each time.
I personally like that one.
some simple and easy and not scary enough.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
it'll be
Wow.
scary.
Easy things that he wants you to get. No
Uh-huh.
concern at all. Or the other one is just like being a caravan guard, and you're supposed to get them from where you're currently at to, the end goal would be Sundabar, if you went that direction. So
How far away is that from where we're going to begin the caravan? Is it quite a number of miles?
it is. It's about 150 miles.
That's not too bad. Here's the thing. Between those two options, the wizard one sounds more appealing to me just because I've been so fucking railroaded on my wizard between caravans and my team not wanting to spend a single second of downtime for me to be able to copy my spell book and make scrolls.
Yeah,
That dude, I'm telling you, like it's starting to affect my ability to actually play the role effectively. That's how bad it's getting.
I think he
so
has
I'm gonna vote
PTSD.
wizard. I do a little bit. I gotta be honest. Like I need to spend more time trying to convince them. Like guys, I need this to be more effective. And it's like 2 of them are elves. It's like you're gonna live for 1,000 fucking years anyway. Anyway,
What are you in such a hurry for? Yeah.
Jesus.
So to give you some clarity with that, I am not a railroad DM. If you go the caravan route, you're railroaded for that caravan,
Yeah.
and then the world opens up. But
Sure.
Just to give you a little bit of a peek behind the DM screen, the railroad will be with some other caravan volunteers who conveniently talk to you about the things they need.
Oh, you're finally
And then
awake.
you guys communicate to me, oh hey, yeah, I'm on my way to Sundabar to request help because somebody's invading our homeland. And
Yeah.
oh, I'm on because I'm looking for my ancestor's crown and I need help. So it's up to you. Either way, it's a railroad initially, but that's just because I need to know in the open sandbox that is, all of Faerun, what do you guys want to do so I can start building that direction?
Let me say one more thing about it real quick. Anything that has like a time constraint on us in the beginning is going to be, I think, super triggering for even me, who's played a lot, and probably to some degree some of the other characters as well. And when I say the word triggering, I don't mean literally triggering. I mean as far as like trying to keep this herd of cats herded. Like I feel like it would be better if we just had maybe not the most time constrainy type of things put upon us, if that makes sense.
Well, it works for me. Like anything is fine for me because my character just kind of like shows up.
That's great. Your character trait is apathy. Is that a feat?
The amusing thing is the caravan actually works great for my character, but at the same time,
course
she
it
has she could work the other way too. So I'm very flexible.
Well, Darylyn, you remember that part that you said where you were like, don't give like your entire backstory immediately?
Yes.
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly.
I'm just teasing you.
I'm gonna put you in a headlock.
I do have a question from the
Go
chat
ahead.
for our DM. He actually wants to know how you feel about working in Warforged into the Forgotten Realms, or do you generally prohibit the race?
Wait. Who's asking this?
Mad Gent,
Oh, okay.
you were worried if it was robust. Yeah, no. But
If it was robust,
someone
you could
did
go.
point out that it's a 5e and not 3.5.
Yeah,
but
it's
I know a
fine.
lot
It's
of
actually
people
4.
will backwork things. So how do you feel about that in general?
So this is a good question. So Eberron campaign setting does have Warforged, and Forgotten Realms is in the same universe as Eberron.
Oh, I didn't
So
know
it's
that.
technically, yeah. So I know I put it in the chat and I've deleted it since then. But Ed Greenwood had basically said he created the realms with the idea that the reason it's called the Forgotten Realms is because people have forgotten the connections from Earth that used to go to Faerun or Toril is the name of that planet, or Eberron or Dragonlance.
Sun. Or Dragonlance,
Sun.
yeah. Friend.
There's so the idea is there is interconnectedness between all of them. So as for allowing Warforged, I wouldn't be opposed to it. They would be exceptionally rare and probably I run them often. I've had one person try it. He didn't like it because he wanted to be like Iron Man, and
No.
weird things
Oh,
tends to
Besito.
destroy towns in Faerun. It's like, oh wow, why is that volcano smoking? Oh, it's just a primordial elemental waking up. And so people generally flee from the exceptionally weird.
Yep.
it's not considered like a hero. So generally speaking, I try to play with that kind of realism where it's like if you're a band of like a good goblin and an orc trying to redeem his pet, like that's great. Or Drizzt the drow, like people are going to hate and be terrified of you for a long time before you can earn their trust. And same thing with like a walking machine. That's going to be terrifying and unnatural, and it's going to take them a while to like earn that trust. But yeah,
And you'd have
definitely
to
option.
like confine your if that was a goal, like you wanted to earn people's trust, you'd probably have to work in that area almost exclusively for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I try to make a very narrative based approach for a lot of like PC goals and stuff. So if you want, like if you're trying to create a merchant empire, then like I'm going to kind of litter hooks throughout that will kind of encourage. And I know I've worked with Darylyn about like the cartography skill, like, and the cool opportunities that would open up. So I like creating a world that works well for whatever. We're going to spend 4 hours every other week on this. I want it to be a fun 4 hours for all of us. So
Yeah, man, me too.
Oh boy.
yeah.
You are the most righteous. Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
We was talking about Shaft. It's a totally separate issue.
So I've got one other question, then I'll give it back to you guys. So in terms of an organic world, how much do you guys want there to be natural consequences to not picking up certain quests versus me just hand waving it and saying some other hero group picked up that certain quest? Do you want it to be like, I don't want it to be every single time you guys decline a quest, that quest got bigger and worse, because that's like overwhelming and anxiety inducing. But do you want that to be a thing?
So you
Or do
mean
you
I
want it
wouldn't
to be
mind that
like-
occasionally.
hand away
You
from it?
mean in the sense
So-
like quest on pause if we deny it?
No, more of a.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So if there might be 3 different ways to look at this. Number one is like Skyrim. If I just never deal with the dragons, 50th level, I can come back and then all of a sudden start dealing with the dragons and nothing ever happened. A second route would be the same thing, but as I ignore the dragon problem, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse until like why is the hero of the realm are you not dealing with the dragons? And then the third option would be
I
like,
need the
okay,
bathroom.
you're ignoring the dragons, then that adventuring group or that dragonborn went and actually solved the problem, and so that quest is now gone for you to deal with.
Hmm.
Out of those 3 options, what would you guys prefer?
I'd like a
generally.
nice mix, honestly.
I was gonna
So
say the same.
sometimes those quests like getting out of hand and having to deal with them,
Yeah.
but sometimes
Yeah.
you get
You
dealt
say-
with or go away.
Yeah, leave that as a toss up to the DM. Like, it's one of those. I want to see you guys go through this kind of thing and how you'd react in it.
Or
Okay.
like if you have a bigger idea, you maybe give us the quest hook now. If we don't bite, you wait a little bit, make it a little worse, and see if we bite then.
Okay. I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that the group was okay with that, because I've had a group that literally flamed out because they're like, they wanted this certain storyline, then they got distracted with something else, and I was like, it got worse. Like the end of the world is still happening just because you guys are like destroying the
Pseudo
arrow.
narrative dissonance.
Yeah.
Or ludo narrative. That's what it was. Ludo narrative dissonance. It's when you play Zelda and they're like you spend a good half hour with the backstory and getting ready to start playing the game, and then you play the game and all you do is like fish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say about that too, though, and I don't mean to sit here and like just keep criticizing the other DM. It's just something that else along the lines of what else I've been talking about that has gotten a little overwhelming playing in that campaign is like we are overloaded with tasks. Like we are forgetting things that we've agreed to do for people, and like that starts to get a little stressful. So I'm not telling you not to give us a lot of options. It's just maybe not, especially since some of the players here are newer, like maybe not just dump a ton of stuff on us all the time.
I imagine he'll go
Definitely can
gentle
do.
for a little while. So
I would hope so.
he'll be gentle.
I wasn't going to put it that way, but thank you.
Same.
I'm uncomfortable.
Danger.
I do have a quick question. So I looked at that feat and I decided to take that feat. So I changed where I'm from to fit the feat. And this says I get an extra 300 gold to spend at character creation.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Then
Uh,
you get an extra 300 gold.
Okay.
Leave her be. Let her
Also,
be.
Oh my god.
Did you
Wow.
guys make a decision on whether you'd rather start with the wizard, gopher, or
Wizard.
caravan?
I think the general consensus with the people who speak are wizard.
Yeah, we'll go with
Okay.
it.
I agree.
Okay. So
Phelan,
yeah.
do you have an
so
opinion?
Were you asking me?
I was asking Phelan, not you.
Oh, sorry.
She's on dessert now. Oh, she's muted.
I hope she's okay.
Wait. Oh, you know what? Didn't she say she was stepping away for a minute?
Oh, she
Or-
might have.
Did she?
Yeah,
she
I
did.
heard her say that earlier.
Okay,
I
well,
didn't
there you
hear
go.
which
We
one it
can't
was,
ask her.
but-
There we go.
Good. Where are the plot for?
Yeah, we
So
pick 4.
with the 300, then you would have that before you started. So
Okay.
whatever you need to buy, yeah, your character would have that when we start. So
Okay.
it wouldn't be
I'll
something
just,
that I just force you to have 300 gold in your pocket and there's nowhere to spend it until level 3 or whatever.
I mean, since I'm kind of settled with where I am, I think, is it okay if I just leave it in my pocket for now?
It is allowed, yes. I just didn't want you to feel like, okay, cool, I got a extra 300 gold and can't do anything with it. But that does bring up a good point. Be a team, please. I'm so
Yeah.
sick of the group I was playing in before I started running a new campaign with them. It was these 2 freaking loot goblins where like
Of course.
they literally, a ship was sinking. Me and the cleric were like over there trying to like get people off and grab treasure or whatever from this pirate ship that we sank, and they were literally fighting over which one of them killed the whatever, like stewed or dragon. I don't remember what they killed, manticore or something. They killed it, and they were like
Mantidragon.
fighting over it, and like like they literally let
Yeah,
the
that's stupid.
ship sink instead of
Mm.
like deal with that afterward. So
Hey man,
try
we
to work
killed
together.
beast.
Yeah, some
So-
out of game problems there.
Yeah.
The other along those lines, the other group that I play in currently, we're coming up on 2 years together. Still, almost, I'm not gonna say constant. It's gone down a little bit, but like infighting, it just gets like we got to find some way. It's not that you can't have personality conflicts, okay? It's just that like pick your battles. That's all I'm saying in that regard.
Mhm.
Like don't become emotional because you feel emotional about something. If your character feels emotionally about something, then try to do that. And I understand it's going to be tough to separate those two, especially in the beginning. It's just keep stuff like that in mind. The goal here is to work together as a team, like you're saying, and overcome challenges together. It's not the way I've described it before is it's not. We want to play as a team of 6 people, not as 6 people playing individually, if that makes sense.
This is a co-op game, not a PvE, not PvP.
Yeah, and there's no
along
winning
with
this
that-
game.
I am not an adversarial DM, so I'm not going to like revel in like killing players off. If you're walking up on a dragon's lair, you're going to know it. There's going to be telltale signs. You guys are going to notice like the death and decay, and like the bird stops chirping, and like if you continue going on, yeah, you're gonna die. But you're never just gonna like, oh, a meteor happened to come down. I rolled a d100 and so you're dead. Like I'm never gonna do that. Or like I'm never gonna. I will if you've come up with a nemesis party. If a party starts to view you as their rivals and they're starting to compete against you, or if you get famous enough that arch villains decide to pick you out, then if you're famous enough, your tactics are going to become understood. Like every time fights break out, the druid steps back and casts spells, and the barbarian charges forward, and your enemies are going to begin to respond to that. I like to have kind of an organic. But if you kill all the witnesses and like you kill somebody in a dungeon, well, I mean, if you're in a dungeon and you kill the only people there,
Right.
how you did it is not going to be known unless your bad guy had some sort of scrying device or somehow viewed it. So
Right.
I
Or
like
one
to
of
have
us
that
witness.
blabbing
component.
about it.
Yeah, or you go to the bar and you tell everyone about that. Like, yeah, then I liked the idea that like initially bandits are gonna say you never should have come here, and then run in and try to attack a level 50 dragonborn. Um, but you know, if you're well known enough, they're gonna be like, shit, it's the dragonborn. I'm out of
Right.
here.
Right.
It's gonna be like that one Batman scene. The fucking henchman walks in, sees Batman, turns around and walks out.
I put that in the thing. That was the fail stealth and intimidate 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned to the group as well. I don't remember if I put it in the chat with you, Devin, but I was saying if anybody wants to bow out, please don't sabotage your character in the middle of the game for all of us, because it's going to affect all of us. Let's talk about it, and that could be just you and the DM if you want. Let's talk about it outside of the game, and then maybe we could find a way for you to exit the game that's like
Gracefully.
appropriate. The easiest way is like, oh, you die heroically or something like that, or maybe your character just decides they want to retire or something like that. Just if you decide you want to stop playing, don't ruin it for the rest of us, please. That's
I will
all I'm
say
asking.
the same thing likely goes for if you decide you don't like your character.
Mm-hmm.
Just have the same conversation, because if you're not
Yep.
playing, it may be the character that you picked. So just talk it over with somebody, and I'm sure that the DM or whatever would be fine with helping you out and find something more suitable to you.
Yeah, man.
Sweet. Any other questions at all?
Nah.
Nope.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment,
still-
but
Gog, I'm going to be on here for a while tonight, so if you want help, feel free, or whoever else is around can help, obviously, as well. But I'm still, as we're talking, I'm going through and making little adjustments to things that I missed in my sheet. Once I feel like I'm mostly done with that, I'm happy to help you with everything that you're having trouble with, and obviously Devin, as long as he wants to stay.
Yeah, I'll probably dip out here soon, but
Mhm.
like I said, I usually get on about 9:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, if you guys ever see me on, sometimes I'll jump in the chat and just be hanging out. You guys can feel free to come, just
okay.
hang out.
I mean, I
Been
probably
playing
won't.
FIFA lately, so
Okay, I mean,
Probably
I might be. Yeah, but I'll probably message you, Devin and or Shane, probably tomorrow if that's okay. Like
Sure.
my phone's on like 6% battery right now anyway, so it needs to recharge.
Yeah.
And my body needs to recharge too, and I need some dinner.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody else does too.
I've actually got to go flip my chickens around. So
Is that a euphemism?
Perfect.
no, they actually have to flip them skin side up so that they get nice and
Not
brown.
this time.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
But all right, yeah, got my shit saved at least thus far. So sorry
Very cool.
about that.
Hit the blue button.
Cool. Thanks,
You have
everyone.
anything to be sorry for?
Yeah,
Alrighty.
you're fine, dude.
it was
Good
a pleasure
happening.
meeting you guys. I'm excited to play some, and let me know if anything comes up and you guys have questions.
Cool. Thank you,
Awesome.
Devin.
Looking
Thanks,
forward to
guys.
it.
Yeah.
See y'all
Awesome. Have a good night,
soon.
guys.
I guess we're calling it a
Good
wrap
talking
up
to
from here.
everybody.
Yeah.
I'll be on.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up my stream. So
There we go.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Damn.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being
See
here,
ya.
for listening through that. We will be back, as Darylyn was saying, in about 2 weeks' time to, I guess, actually get started. We'll see how that goes when we get there. I may actually start a Nightingale stream here in a little bit just because I've got the urge to play it, but we'll see that after dinner, of course. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And we will talk to you later.